Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Zoe's Treasures. My name's Tracy, and as always, here with my husband, Noel. Hello, Southern Charm Crafting with Chris. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hello, Mary. I think these weeks are going by faster and faster and faster. Hello, Robin's Closet. So, Josie, I saw you in, who was it? Melinda's show this morning? I think it was Melinda's show. Buying those wades. Estate Addicts. Hello, good morning. I think it was hello, is it Kaya? Am I saying that right? Well, you guys, I have two, I think, really interesting topics to talk about today. And we're doing some stuff different. So I've got like all kinds of cool little updates here. Nothing major, but it's just a few fun updates. Tober, hello. Good morning, Swamp Chick. So first off, there was a new Whatnot email came out. Anybody see that? Not much exciting news, nothing. They weren't really announcing anything major, but there was a Whatnot email. They really talked about, of course, they're pushing listings, which I'm going to touch on because I have an opinion about listings. Not an opinion, but a change of heart about listings. They introduced some new subcategories. Good morning. Introduced a few new subcategories, and then they talked about thumbnails, which I thought was really interesting. So there's been this kind of evolution over the last couple of months since the Seller Summit with Whatnot and thumbnails. You're not getting emails from them. Really? We get the emails, but sometimes Noel doesn't. I get the emails all the time. We then go to, where is it? blog.teamwhatnot.com and check out. I look at them almost daily to see if there's new updates that they post. So if you're not getting emails, bookmark that site, blog.teamwhatnot.com. Am I getting that right? Yes, okay. So they post it there. Pretty much every time they put an email out, it's just a shortened version of their blog post. So the evolution of their thumbnails, everybody started doing these AI thumbnails. We're all still using them because, let's face it, it's easy and it saves time, right? Over Canva and trying to create your own. Find out. You come here. That's Mary. Just keep coming here. We do try to talk about it. Melinda's time capsules rating. Thank you so much.
Welcome in, Raiders. Grab your hats and step into Zoe's Treasures, where the relics aren't cursed. They are for sale.
Everybody, Melinda is one of our CEO participants for season 2. Thank you so much for bringing your people over. My name's Tracy. This is Zoe's Treasures. We're doing a chat and sell. Melinda, please go ahead. Put in who you are, what you sell, what you do, when you're on, all those things, all the things, so people can know and give you a follow. There you go. If you're not getting emails, go to blog.teamwhatnot.com. Happy Wednesday, Eve Jack Peace. So there it is. There's the website. And if you scroll down a bit, let's take this off here really quick so you guys can actually see. It's going to tell you what's going on. There's the latest. It came out on 7/7, that product spotlight, find demand faster. So what they were really talking about on the thumbnail, so where they talked about the AI at the Seller Summit, good morning, Michelle, they talked about the AI isn't converting. It's not getting people to click. It's so overused that people are scrolling right by it. Sorry, random question, but is shipping for PA meetup tickets supposed to be $4? No, it should be 78 cents. The tickets for the meetup should be 78 cents because I have them set as stickers. Let's see. Let me pin it. Is it? Oh no! You know what? It is going to be $4. It should be $4.50, only because of the price. So, yeah, sorry, because it's over $20. Thank you, Melinda. Yeah, I think it clicked right at the same time. So it is as cheap as it's going to get is $4.50. However, if you want to wait till Friday and buy it, I do free shipping on Fridays and Tuesdays. Then it'll show up as free shipping on those days. Other than that, I have it set at the absolute lowest, and then it's going to be ruled by the shipping I have for the show. Thank you so much. I got it all cut off, I don't know, last week or over the weekend. So let's talk about the thumbnail. So they said that the AI is not converting. It's not getting people to click in. What they suggested was using a picture of yourself. I'm not really big on it, but I took their advice and I changed my Monday, Wednesday shows to a picture of myself. They said that that's what converted the most. According to Whatnot data, they as Whatnot, when they looked at who was clicking on what thumbnails, the picture of people were making people click. That was the converting thumbnails. Whoa, we're getting crazy here. We're moving all over the place. So I changed it. I haven't seen a difference in it. Is that why you changed yours too? Yeah. I haven't noticed a difference in it. Maybe, maybe not. Nothing that I can definitively say, oh, this is like such a drastic difference. It's a bit about the same. Well, now, yesterday, their email said you should put a picture of your products on your thumbnail. We're talking a span of like 3 months here, like that they have said 3 different things. You should put a picture of your products because people want to see what you're selling. Okay, I don't know if that's going to make me click into anything anymore. I'm still kind of on the mindset that it should be somewhat representative of what your show theme is, whatever that is, what you're selling, kind of what you're doing. If you're doing a trivia show or you're selling, Wades or you're selling vintage. Honestly, if it's an attractive thumbnail that's not too busy, that has your logo on it, I'm not too sure if you use AI, a picture of you or a picture of your product, that any one of those is going to make it better than the other. Estate addicts. That's where I'm going to start going, because the other thing they talked about was listings. Tober's cracking me. I got a red jet. That was cracking me up. I do wonder. I know Whatnot has access to all the data. Look, it's a whole online system. They can pull data and do analytics of everything that we're doing. I'm just not so big on it. I really want to think it's best to stay to the tried and true marketing methods of thumbnails and of, attracting people. Not too busy, clean like thumbnails with your logo. You should have consistent logo representation on every single thumbnail. So something that's the same that people can recognize you, and just go with that. Now, what I think doesn't work, personal opinion, I don't want a picture of your dog. Pictures of just nature if you're not doing a nature show. Pictures of, the barnyard, whatever it may be, because what exactly is that telling me? I mean, your picture should say something about what's going to happen in that show, right? So that would be the other thing, a logo and some indication of what's happening. Now, I can agree on the AI side of it. Not that total AI thumbnails are bad, but that sometimes it's like catfishing. There's some AI pictures and I'm like, oh, let's go see this young happy couple, and I'm thinking I'm going into a show of, some newlyweds, and I go in there and they're like 90 years old selling, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, your AI thumbnail made you look like you're 20. Are we even in the same show here? So I think there should be some reality to what you're posting. Good morning, Kate. What about your picture of the gold? Yeah, if you're selling salt water, totally agree with that. It should be somewhat representative of your show. I mean, don't be misleading. So on that note, kind of moving over to then the listings, because of course Whatnot's going to keep pushing listings. They're on this kick, which I feel is really detrimental to the app as a whole, because we are a live selling site, and instead of harnessing the power of live selling, they're clinging to the static selling mindset, which is, I don't think is ultimately the best move. I'm not in charge, so not my call. However, I've been pre-listing. I did randoms for a long time. I've gone back and forth. So for the longest time I did random. And for about 4 to 5 months, I've been pre-listing. I used to do everything up for my Saturday show. I would pre-list. For these shows, I would pre-list 10 to 15 items, then maybe do a couple of randoms. I've slowly backed off and done less and less pre-listing. So I've got the data from all the pre-listing, and I thought I saw an uptick in sales when I pre-listed. I really love pre-bids. I'm like, y'all I don't care if anybody's for or against listing your items. It feels good to open a show and see pre-bids. I don't care who you are. It feels good to know that somebody wants your items before you even start a show. However, is that feel-good feeling really converting to more dollars? And this is what I've been asking myself. For a while, I thought it was. It may help people get acclimated. I can understand that. I wouldn't necessarily argue against that, but I'm just kind of like, let's just teach them the right way. Let's just rip off that Band-Aid and be like, this is a new site. This is how you do it. I don't know. I know the reason Whatnot does it from a business perspective. They say it's the behavior people are used to, so they're trying to play off of the behavior they're used to. That when people come to Whatnot, they put stuff in the search bar to search. I see that, but if you're really setting yourself apart as being a new and innovative and different website, let's be a new and innovative different website. Or app, maybe not website. So, and I don't think they're scared of the live auctions. I think they're scared because Whatnot has gotten a bad rep through social media. When we first started on Whatnot, maybe not the cards and the Funko Pops, but when they first started adding vintage storage units, estate sales, people put a lot of garbage stuff. It was like going to a garage sale that with a bunch of stuff that nobody wanted, and that gave the app a bad rep to begin with. So there's still a lot of opinions out there that Whatnot is a leftover app. You also still hear it on social media. I bring to Whatnot what I can't sell on eBay. I bring to Whatnot what I can't sell here, which I think that's detrimental to Whatnot as a whole. And that's us as sellers doing that, not Whatnot doing that to them. But they're not following their own data because it shows that most people buy. Exactly. 90-something% buy from random polls. Poll sellers don't want to be pushed into be. Actually, iForBeauty, I agree that the large volume random ones absolutely don't. But I'm not large volume doing all randoms, and I don't want to pre-list anymore. I'm getting to the point that I'm backing off of it, and I'm going to look at the numbers. I want to do this in a smart, scientific way, right? So I know my pre-listing, the times I've been pre-listing, and I sat here and said, hey, this is working for me. I'm seeing an uptick in my numbers. This is going great. Can I maintain that uptick without pre-listing? That's what I'm wondering. That's what I want to know. Because let's face it, pre-listing does take time. Well, we can use CSV, and I found a really quick method to do CSV. I'm doing 5 or 6 shows a week. That's a lot. It's still adding up to time over the course of the week on many, many shows. So I'm moving more towards not pre-listing and seeing and watching the numbers and seeing if I can remain consistent or even grow without pre-listing. I'm curious. So Josie, better, I did see better results in the last few months that I've pre-listed. Can I maintain that? That's what I'm curious about, is can I maintain that? Robin says, I work a full-time job. Pre-listing takes a lot of time, so I started listing and 10 items took a while. Robin, I agree. It does take time. You could do, if you're using CSV, if you're using the upload, I could pre-list about 50 items in like an hour, not counting time to clean them or remove stickers and all of that stuff. I'm just talking, take a quick photo, nothing fancy, and my photos aren't the best, just a quick photo, put in very, very minimal description, and post. But even so, doing that for multiple shows a week adds up. Pre-listing mimics a preview. It does. I would totally agree with that, iForBeauty. And that's part of the reason why I'm hesitant to make this change, and I've been slow to do it. I think to combat that, what I am going to start doing, and I'm going to test it out for my Saturday show, is post a video of my items at least the day before set up on my shelf. So people could open the show, they can get a video, they could see what I'm going to sell listed, shown on the shelf, so they could still see it, but I don't have to pre-list it. And that time's, 5 minutes to do that. I barely have time to get my auctions ready. I agree, Mary, it does. Yeah, CSV is game changer. JK, thank you so much. Pre-listing works best for me and helps me to stay more organized. And I'm not saying don't pre-list. I'm saying for me, I want to see if I can be just as effective without it. It's kind of like an experiment. Then I'll get tons of requests. And I may get tons of requests. I'm not necessarily against requests. So I've been kind of experimenting and trying different structures in my shows as far as, do I take requests? Do I save all requests for the end? I still feel that I am in total control of my show. We did a show, I'm going to talk about my yesterday show and free shipping, and people would request stuff and I'm like, hey, it's coming up. Or if I was already going to run that next, I'd be like, yeah, sure, we're going to get right to that. So I still think you could take request in a nice way and build it into where you're in control. Or you could say, look, no request at all. So yeah, as long as this show is flowing, as long as I'm not holding people up, I'm okay with requests too. It doesn't mean because it's requested that I'm going to stop everything and do it right then. It may be like, yep, within a couple of items, we're going to get to that. At least recognizing the comment, answering it, and letting them know an approximate time frame. Because we got to put ourselves in the buyer's shoes, right? If I come in and somebody's doing random polls, I might not have all day to sit there. I might not have an hour and a half. I also do let my buyers know, and the people who come regularly know, I do hour to hour and a half shows. You're not going to be sitting here for 4 hours waiting for something you see behind me. Now, if you're in a hurry and you've got to get to work and you're like, hey, I got to go to work. I'm really, really interested in that swan you have back there. Yeah, I mean, we'll try to accommodate in a reasonable manner as much as I can. Yes, estate addicts, very true. So even if you have a thumbnail, you could add that video, and when somebody clicks on your show or opens up in like the live view, they can see that video. You've never run random polls, but you're thinking about it. I love the speed and the flexibility. So I had this debate with Green 13 when I was pre-listing 50 to 80 items for my Saturday show. And I was telling him, I'm like, look, my goal is to get to 6 days a week. And then on Sundays, I do the podcast. Lori, I'll talk about that, running in order. Let me just make a note. Running in order. And he's like, he kind of laughed at me. He goes, okay. He goes, let's see if that lasts in a few months. I want request. I'm a buyer, not sitting for 3 hours to see what you have. Exactly. But some people do like it. I mean, there's a whole mixed thing. I can't sit for 3 hours. I just don't have the attention span. I am not, if somebody is on all day and I know they normally run 4 or 5 hour shows, I'll watch for 15, 20 minutes, hop back out and be like, oh, I'll come back in a little while. I'm not a sit for hours and hours person. It's just not who I am. I forgot where I was going with something else. But Lori, let's talk about that. Green 13. So yeah, let me finish that story. So he was telling me, he's like, yeah, okay, let's see how that works for you. He goes, I guarantee you're going to stop pre-listing as you start getting to 6 shows a week and you're trying to sell upwards of 300 items a week. And 300 items, I mean, that's not, to some people, that's just a drop in the hat, right? Some people do 300 items per show. I'm trying to do 300 a week in vintage decor while working full time. It's a lot to me. And he's right. He's right. The more shows I add, the more items I add to shows, because I've explained it. I've said it before. I have a whole plan mapped out on how many items I need to sell for in each show, what my average order value needs to be in each show, and how that is going to incrementally increase between now and the end of the year to get to the point that I want to be at, to reach my goals. So as I've been going from week to week to week and adding more items and adding more shows, lo and behold, Jeremy is right. I'm finding less and less time to put towards the pre-listing, because the more items I add, the more I am having to wash, take stickers off, clean the items, and then ship the items. Even with having shipping help, it still takes my time. I will multitask, listen to the show. Yes, I do that too. I'm the opposite. If I look at your pre-listing and don't see anything in it, you're out. One general look will tell you. And see, thank you so much, Rara. Yes, I'm the same way too. I'll look if you have too much, if you have stuff pre-listed, and I'm like, there's nothing there, too much in the auction tab. All right, or not too much, but nothing that I want. I'm like, okay, you've already given me, 50 to 100 choices of things, and if I don't want anything in that 50 to 100, what makes me think anything you're going to pull out randomly is something that I'm going to want? So it could work against you. I mean, it could totally, having that pre-list could work in a negative way just as much as it can work in a good way. My husband's like, it depends on the environment you create. True, the environment plays into it. That is a big part of it. Now, running in order. Lori asked this question. Lori Can Shop asked the question about running in order. You should always run in order. That is one thing that I will not back down on in the foreseeable future. That I mean, in my head, I am stuck. There is an order that you should run in, and you determine that order based on the principles and the psychology behind selling. When you start looking at arbitrary coherence and how the price of one item affects the price of the next, I want to use that to my benefit to help, increase my average order value. So, yep, even 300 items, you have some idea, and it may not be item by item by item, but it could be classes of items. It could be, okay, I have some milk glass over here, and then maybe I have this type of pottery, or I have this. So I start out with the general order. Usually how I put them on my shelves in my head, I have a typical order in my kind of that I want to go through by the way I put them on my shelves. And that doesn't mean I'm always going like this one, then this one, then this one. But they're grouped in ways where in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm going to start here. And that could be by the value I expect people to ultimately pay for them. It may be by the type of item. It just depends on the show for me. But running an order, 100%, you should have a plan. That's part of your show flow on how you're going to be running those items, because definitely the price of one item will affect the price of another item. But I don't feel that you should be so stuck in it that you can't pivot if you see multiple requests or higher bids than what you expected in something. And like if I'm running milk glass, if I run a piece of milk glass and it just like blows my mind all of a sudden, it's like bidding up, and I have people like doing a bidding war, that's going to tell me, wait a minute, I got a bunch of milk glass people in this show that maybe I didn't expect to be here. Let's go ahead and pivot and run more milk glass. It's a good idea to put your premium items in store and lower price items as random. No, your premium items will actually raise the price of your lower priced items. So you want to use them strategically. I always say your shows are like a bell curve. You kind of warm people up, they get them going. You get to this top, you kind of get this crescendo, and you start to come back down to your close. That's a normal flow of anything in life, any entertainment. A book you read, it does the introduction, gets to the main plot, comes back down. When you go to a restaurant, it's appetizers, a salad, to the entree, back down to the dessert. When you watch a movie, it's the same thing. It's the introduction, you get the main plot, and then you find out who killed who, and then it kind of, goes to the close. Everything we do, particularly in entertainment, has that flow to it. So that's as far as human nature, what we're used to. We want to give that to our people too in our shows. If I just come out of the gate and I'm like, here's all my bangers, boom, 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 I'm going to give you all my bangers. And then I'm like, okay, now let's do all this other stuff. They're like, it's going to feel weird. It's going to feel weird to the people in my room. We want to go with a flow that people are comfortable with already. However, your bangers, what we would call a banger or a higher priced item, can absolutely, when we start talking about arbitrary coherence, affect the prices. What do I mean by that? Green 13 explains this way better than I do, but it's been something that I've been working on, and it's not just numbers. I had finally a light bulb moment a few weeks ago when I was talking to him about it's the language you use. So it's trying to relate two things to each other, make things less arbitrary. Let's see if I can pick a couple of things here to show you. All right, so like if we have this duck family, all these ducks, and I pull them out and we're talking about these ducks. Good morning, Aaron. And I'm describing them and you guys are loving them, and the bids are going up, and I get really high price for, there's a whole little family of ducks here. And say I get a really high price for it. The next thing in my head that I may want to pull out when I'm thinking, of my show flow is something that I can relate to this. I want you to transfer the qualities that made you bid really high on this to the next item. Okay, so we're going to sell this, bids are going to go crazy. So then maybe I'm going to pull out something like this. When you're looking at it, they're very different, right? Arbitrary. They're not, they don't have a lot of things in common. But I'm going to try to take some of the stuff here. Look at the colors. You guys love the colors on that first item? If you like those bright, vibrant colors, look at the green on this. And y'all like ducks. What about bluebirds? And I'm going to try to make connections so in your head, you're like, oh man, yeah, them ducks are cool. Oh yeah, another cool bird item. And the bids go up on that. So these are two kind of very random things I just grabbed off the shelf. But I'm trying to explain the concept of the arbitrary coherence. What you're trying to do is to make the attributes of one item highlight the attributes of another. So you're reducing the differences between it. So what they do in their head, what buyers do in their head is relate that first item and the price that first item to the price of the next item. The more you can do that naturally in conversation, it helps to elevate the average order values of your items. I hope that made sense. It's not the easiest. Yes, I got it. Thank you. Oh my gosh, he's just like over here giving me blah, 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 blah. I'm going to shoot him with that Nerf gun in 2 seconds. So it's, and then he does that and I completely lose my train of thought. So the price that you get for one item definitely can affect the next, but it's how you talk about it and sell it and create that connection in people's minds. It can also work the opposite way. So if I have a low priced item and then I run a banger right after a low price item, people are stuck in their head, oh, that's $10. It can lower the price of the banger item. Good morning, Shiny Squirrel. So I would definitely say read a little bit more about arbitrary coherence. Shalom. Yeah, do I need the Nerf? I got the Nerf gun down here somewhere. Thoughts on when to run pre-bids. Whole idea is if you can't be at the show or don't want to overbid, I don't understand running through all of them first. So that's part of your show flow and how you want to do it. Some people will say, look, I'm going to run these items in order because I have thought about arbitrary coherence. I have thought about the flow of my show, and there's nothing wrong with it. And I'm going to do this item and then this item because I'm building up. Maybe I'm going to do 2 or 3 mid-priced. I'm going to do a big banger, and I'm going to do 2 or 3 mid-priced to kind of carry those high prices throughout the show. So some people will be like, no, I don't want to do pre-bids at all. I kind of feel that I, as a seller, want to be responsive to the room, to the people I have in my room. If you've taken the time to put a pre-bid in, I want to be responsive to that in the fact that I don't want to keep you waiting forever. However, the concept of pre-bids also helps people. It helps you to get a little bit higher value on that. You can tease those items throughout the show. Hey, this is coming up. Check this out. Look at this. You got to leave. Don't miss it. Go ahead and put your max bid in there. You can get somebody to enter their max bid where maybe their max bid is $55. But if you were just swiping on it, they would have to think every single time they swiped, which may cause them not to swipe to 55. So you kind of see how the pre-bids, good morning, Lemon Tree, how having somebody put a max pre-bid in may make those bids higher. Because it's like, oh, look, I got to go. I got to run. I really want this item. Here's the top dollar I'm willing to pay. Versus, I'm going to run an auction right now. And every time I swipe, I have to make a conscious decision to spend more money. So I would rather have buyers make that decision once and the top dollar they want to pay versus making a bunch of smaller decisions over and over and over during one auction that they keep wanting to spend money and wanting to spend money and wanting to spend money. How can you see pre-bids? If you're on a computer, there is a button that you just click pre-bids and it's just going to list the pre-bids. Good morning, Coach Karma. I always want to say Karma. Exactly, Kate. If you don't run your pre-bids, they go away. If you move your show more than 48 hours, you lose your pre-bids. Now, if you don't pre-list at all, you don't have to worry about pre-bids. So again, there are pros and cons to everything. And I always preach, understand the good and the bad, and then make a proper business decision for you based on the good and the bad. And we're going to talk about some good and bad stuff coming up in just a little bit here. I hope that answered your question. There isn't a right or wrong way. Think about how it works for you. I would often start with a few things that were not listed and then move to pre-bids, or stuff that didn't have pre-bids and then move to pre-bids. When I was listing 50 to 70 items on a Saturday show, I would start with a couple of things that didn't have pre-bids. And then I would say, okay, everybody, I'm going to focus on the pre-bids. 9 out of 10 times, that pre-bid list just got longer and longer and longer. People in the room would recognize, hey, if she's focusing on pre-bids and I want something, let's throw a pre-bid in there because it's going to be a higher up on the list for her to work through. By the end of the show, I may have 2 or 3 items out of 70 that didn't have pre-bids. That told me a couple of things. One, it told me those are the least desired items, and maybe I shouldn't buy those type of items again. Did they sell? They always sold. Did I get the highest price for them? Absolutely not.
In the end, list or pre-list or do randoms, that is going to be entirely up to you. Do the pre-listing has benefits? In some cases, they do. In some cases, they might hinder the way you run your show.
Yep.
If you have way too many products that you're planning on running, Pre-listing might not be the best solution. It is just a tool. So think about what you're going to do. Utilize the tools. You don't have to pre-list everything. Maybe you can pre-list a couple of things just to get the attention. And then utilize those few things to drive more attention to your products. In the end, like I said, it's a tool.
Absolutely. And pre-listing to me, not just pre-listing, but running our shows, but pre-listing plays into, and we kind of talked about it, taking request. That's the other whole like division on Whatnot. Do I take requests? Do you not take requests? And is it better to do random polls or winner's choice scanning? Oh, scanning, no, never scan. Who here? 75 people. If you love scan shows, put a yes in there.
Wait, it's not about the complete negation of one thing or another.
Yes, it is.
Again, it's
Yes,
a
it
tool. I've seen some people utilize scanning very effectively. Now, you have to do it very strategically to be able to make sure that it works. You cannot just dedicate your whole show to tell me what do you want. Tell me what do you want to run. Good morning, Livy. You can't just dedicate your whole show to do that. It's just not feasible, and it's not going to give you the best results. But if you can use it strategically, then it can work. But at the same time, I don't want to spend my whole entire time in your show looking at your collection.
Correct. Okay. I will give him the benefit of the doubt that scanning used strategically in very small little minute time frames can be an effective part of your show. However, scan shows in general, that's the one thing I will take a hard stance on. Scan shows in general, absolutely no go. You are wasting your time. It is not. Because a preview video is a 30-second video before the show is running, not while I'm running my show. We are a live auction site. You are losing a lot of the power that you have when you're doing a scan show. We scan, we run, we don't do requests, but we sell everything we scan. So it's different. If you are going item to item, you're like, okay, up next is this, and then you're moving along a shelf and you're running everything you're showing. That's not a scan show. That's just moving your camera to where your item is. That's different than a scan show if you're running everything. The scan shows I'm talking about are, okay, everybody, I'm showing you everything I have. Oh yeah, look, I've got this. Yeah, I got that. Tell me what you want. Do you like this? Yeah, do you want this? Why are you asking people? One, a lot of people aren't going to answer you. A lot of people, if you're not telling the price, they don't want to ask because what are they afraid of? That they're going to say, yeah, can I see that item right there? How much is it? What's your starting bid? And you're going to be like, oh, it's $20. And then they then have to tell you no. People don't like conflict. People don't like feeling like they have an obligation because they asked for something. So if you're going to show it, run it. That is more to your benefit to just continually run things for a lot of reasons. One, like I just explained about people having to ask. Two, what does Whatnot what it feeds the algorithm? Per Whatnot's words in the help, in the terms of service, help.whatnot.com, under discoverability, activity feeds the algorithm. Activity isn't scanning. Activity is running auctions, having your chat moving. So there is nothing about scan shows that is enough benefits of scan shows that are going to outweigh all of the negatives of a scan show.
So to add to that camera statement, most people utilize the phone. Not everybody has a very good internet connection. And when you use the phone to scan, in some cases, it can get pixelated. It doesn't pick up the item properly. It can lag the video. And so therefore, it's not the best option. Keeping your camera static and putting your items in front of the camera is the best option, because that camera is not moving. But at the same time, you can't run them too fast, because if you put them too fast through the camera, it will distort the image. Mm-hmm.
I would, if you're looking at the amount of items sold per hour, not that that's the ultimate metric, but let's just take something that we can make apples to apples. If I'm showing you something and explaining the benefits, good morning, Sabaloo, explaining the benefits, using all of the various psychological methods, the psychology behind selling, arbitrary cohesion, the halo effect, or everything that Jeremy talks about. If I'm using all of those within my sales, I'm going to see better results than me asking you over and over what you want constantly. Even those of you who say, well, I'm not sure what I want to go and look and see. Okay, when you go to Target and you're wandering around, how much time are you wasting before you put stuff in your cart, right? And the people who are like, well, I don't know, I got to go and wait and see what the Target gods tell me I need to buy that day. I don't know what I want until they tell me, till I see it. Okay, it's my job as a seller to help you figure that out, not for me to wait for you to tell me. So it kind of defeats that purpose when people say, well, I don't know until I see it. All right, then I'm going to show you as much as I possibly can show you, and I'm going to describe the benefits. I'm going to go, boom, I'm going to show you this, I'm going to show you that, I'm going to tell you how cool this is. Not you tell me what you want by me holding the camera like this. It just is not as effective. Do they sell stuff that way? Yeah, you could sell stuff that way. Are you going to sell as much? Are you going to hit targets as fast? Absolutely not. You just won't. That's where the bin gets pushed in between auctions, is when they're scanning and they say go to the bin. I'm actually working on reducing my bin. It drains your phone battery. Yep. I use a pocket watch on a chain. There you go. That's right. Let's hypnotize everybody. Buy my stuff. No, that's not the way we do it. So there's a scan show and then there's a scan. Yeah, so the way Noelle was describing it, the toy category uses scans in a way that is effective, and this is what I'm saying, using it in very minute portions, is they have a bunch of stuff set up that they can't all fit into the camera view, and they'll be like, hey, this is everything we have, and people start putting stuff in the chat. We're talking like 3 or 4 minutes. We're not talking an hour-long show. We're talking 3 or 4 minutes. They grab a bunch of stuff. Not even 3 or 4 minutes. It's a very short amount of time. They grab a bunch of stuff and then they run. And then they're like, okay, this is what we have left. Let me just kind of give you a preview of what we have left. All right, run. But it's in very small little like, hey, you guys, you just want to see. It's no different than me doing this. Hey, check it out. This is everything that's coming up. This is all the random stuff. It's no different than that, than just giving you a preview. Or you'll see some people, if they have the camera facing their items, will pull more stuff into view. It's that type of thing. It's just helping you see what's there because we only have so much space on the screen. Then you play Where's Waldo? Exactly. You start doing that with the request and you're like, oh, well, I want this thing. Oh, is this? Nope. This one over here? Oh, this one? So while you are focused on the wants of one person, you're ignoring how many other people in your room to satisfy one person. If I were to do that right now, if somebody said, oh, I want that one thing, I would be focusing on one person and ignoring 83 others. So, and that kind of takes us to the request. I've had people ask to scan my shelves. It's not my go-to method, but Monster Mom, I just say no. I'm like, here you go. I have never been a fan of the scans. Like, I've never done them. I've had people ask, will you scan? I'm like, no, I'm not set up for that. I don't do scan shows. Green is red. So then we go to the whole topic of taking request. I am of the mindset of request, and I look at it like this. If you were to walk into a store, imagine you walk into a cute little boutique, okay? And there's this red tape on the floor, and you walk in and you're like, whoa, what's this big old red tape? And they're like, stop, stand behind the red tape. And you're like, I want to see the yellow dress over there. I want to go see that dress. Like, that's what I'm interested in. And they go, wait, I'll bring you the yellow dress when I'm ready to bring you the yellow dress. I want you to stand right there while I show you everything else. And when I get to the yellow dress, I'll get to the yellow dress. And you're standing there. How long would you stand in that boutique? How long would you stand there waiting for the one thing that you came in to buy, right? Probably not for a long time. That's what goes through my head when I think about taking requests. Now, do I feel that you should just bow down to everything everybody asks in your show? No, you need to be in control of your show and manage those requests. But it doesn't mean that you have to totally ignore them either. You can say when somebody makes a request, Yeah, sure, I have that. We'll get to that in a few items. Or I'm going to do all requests in 20 minutes. Everybody, if you have a special request, throw it in there. We have somebody in the background grabbing those up, and we're going to run those in 20 minutes. Or we do all requests at the end of the show. You can be receptive to request without letting it control your show. Think about it logically. If you're doing a show that has a lot of stuff, somebody just said, like pointing things out on a shelf, or if you're doing jewelry and you have 200 pieces of jewelry in front of you, and somebody's like, oh, I want the one with the blue stone. How long are you going to be picking through stuff to find that exact one? So it depends on what you're selling, how you're selling it, and then you can manage those requests. Daisy Lane does this really well. She doesn't take requests, but everything she does is pre-listed, and she says, hey, I don't take requests, but if you really like an item, throw a pre-bid on it. You can custom, put a custom bid if you'd like, and we will run it. She's acknowledging them. She's acknowledging their desire to have something, and she's letting them know exactly when it's going to happen. Where versus, oh, you want that? I'll get to it when I get to it. It's part of it is the attitude you bring to it. So even if you're a no request person, you can do it in a way that it's like, it doesn't seem like you're just flat out no. It's like, oh, I hear you. You want that? Yep, absolutely. We're going to do everything we can to try to accommodate that. But I have a lot of people in the room right now. We're going to run through these items. I should get there within a 5 or 10 minutes, right? It's far different than no, I don't take requests. So set up your own policies. I'm not saying there's a right or the wrong way, but how you handle it and how you communicate it could make the whole difference in how it's received by the people in your room.
You also have to be smart, because I've seen shows where they don't take requests and then they want a specific item that they see. And one of the things that they do is, hey, do you mind letting me know? Tag me when you're about to run that item. And sure enough, either the audience or the seller will say, hey, can anybody please tag so-and-so in the chat so we can make sure that they know that the item's about to run. And so once they do that and you receive the notification, then you can get the item without really needing to be present the whole entire time.
Ivory Beauty asked a really good question, or makes a good comment. How about that one person in your room that spends a ton of money in your show and thinks they should get special treatment? I'm sorry. How do you feel? I'm going to answer this in a way. How do you feel when your phone company, your cell phone company, gives good deals just to new buyers, but forgets about the people who've been there forever? Kind of sucks, right? Because they're focusing on one person. I feel the same way about making special treatment to only one person in my show. If somebody's spending a lot of money with me, they're probably on my top 10. I think you should be treating and recognizing your top 10 in certain ways. Maybe it's not an everyday or an every month thing, but occasionally you should be going in and focusing on those top 10 people. That the special treatment's going to come behind the scenes. Just because you're going to buy a lot of things in my show doesn't mean I'm going to put you ahead of everybody else. Because how do I know that the next person who's about to buy a lot of things isn't sitting there waiting and feeling left out because I'm too focused on another person? I think everybody needs to be treated equally, regardless of the money they're spending, regardless if they're spending any money at all. It should be kind, welcoming, and in a great environment for everybody in the room, not just the person spending the most money. And there's a bunch of questions coming. I'm not trying to ignore them. I'm working down. Shalom says, off topic, had an issue where a buyer requested an item, asked me for a lower starting bid, and she was outbid and proceeded to bully the other buyer. First of all, this is where I say your confidence and your pricing structure comes into play. Know your pricing structure. Be confident in that. And when they ask for a lower starting bid, you came up with that starting bid for a reason. You decided that whatever that dollar amount was the appropriate amount for your business purposes. Stick to it. Stick to that starting bid. That to me sounds like emotional discounting. It sounds like, oh man, somebody wants this, and if I just lower the price because they asked, then they're going to buy it. So don't discount. And then the fact that they bullied somebody, I would boot you from my room. Maybe not block you. We're going to talk about blocking. I would boot you from my room if you bully somebody else. It is not acceptable behavior. And I would have made that very, very clear. I would have said, we don't accept bullying. It's not proper in our chat. We're respectful to everybody in the room. I'm going to ask or help you leave the show for now so that you can calm down, and you're always welcome to come back nicely at a later time. But that's also the thing that right now I can say it because I'm not heated in the moment and feeling the emotions of it. Those are the type of situations you should be thinking through ahead of time on how you might handle it when it happens.
You can also use a Green 13 strategy, show the item and say, all right, we're about to run this item. How many people are interested in this item? Show me in the chat, throw in a yes or an emoji or something. That way you can get the feel for the room and they know that they have competition. And if they're not smart enough, they'll lose the item.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for buying a PA Meetup ticket. We're going to talk about the PA Meetup here in a minute. I'm just trying to get caught up. How do you kick somebody out? So somebody made Michelle Ray Vintage Crafts said, I block bullies. I want to talk about blocking. I actually had that on my list of things to talk about today. So let's talk about blocking. Which Lucy's Barn that will answer that question because blocking is kicking. Well, you can kick somebody out of your show by right-clicking or just clicking on their name.
Hold on, let me do that.
He's going to show you.
Who asked?
Lucy's Barn asked,
Lucy's
how do you
Barn.
kick somebody
All
out of
right,
your show?
Here you go, Lucy's Barn. I'm gonna do something kind of weird. Whoops! It doesn't like
What
it.
is he doing? He doesn't like that.
He doesn't like it.
You can click on somebody's name and a little pop-up's going to come up and it'll say to
So,
remove them from the show.
There it is. So look, that's the pop-up that comes up. I'm the mod, and then you can see right there on the very bottom where there's a little negated eye right below mention chat. It says remove from show, and that's how you can remove a person from your show, and they cannot come back in for that particular show. And then the other one is a block. We try not to use that one.
And I like what His and Her Chicago shop says. You have to treat your whales well, but also welcome new whales. Treating everybody equally. And then on the side, behind the scenes, if you want to treat your top people really special, which you should do something, do that on the side. Focusing on it too much during a show can make other people feel insignificant, not valued, not appreciated. And you don't want to do that to anybody in your show.
No eye for beauty. I will kick you out of the show.
Okay, let's talk about blocking because this is actually something that I wrote some notes on to talk about. Who was it the other day? Swamp Chick Boutique was talking about this in her show yesterday, and I thought it was a really interesting conversation. So I'm kind of... you send gifts to your special buyers? That's awesome. So I'm kind of jumping on her bandwagon and copying her a bit. So Swamp Chick, if you're here, thank you for the idea. There she is right there. But she was talking about there's legit reasons why you would block somebody. I totally agree. If somebody's harassing you, saying racial comments, sexual comments that are unwanted, bullying, harassment, being just awful people, they should be blocked right away. There are certain situations, it is a no-brainer, it is a block situation, okay? But there's a lot of gray area, and there's a lot of people that are way too block happy. First of all, if you're block happy, you go for it. Be block happy because every person you block is a potential new customer for me. So go ahead, keep blocking them that they can't go to your show. They're all welcome in mine. So that's the first thing about it. If you're block happy, you're kind of helping me on the other side. Do you think a private show for whales is a good idea? We'll get back to that. Don't let me forget. If I somehow forget, remind me about it. Private show, whales. Okay. So think about the other side of this, though, when you're blocking. How do you determine a bot from a human? The bots will usually only have 1 or 2 followers. They have weird names and they ask weird questions. So you usually can see it.
Most of them are 0.
Before you block somebody, offer a little bit of grace. Offer some grace. It could be somebody new who hasn't learned the etiquette of whatnot yet. This is still a new way to shop for a lot of people. It could be somebody new who took advice from a bad seller. It could be somebody comes into your room and says, can I promote? Because they didn't read your show notes and they don't know that you don't like promoting in your room. So instead of just being like, you should have read my show notes, block, you can use it as a learning opportunity. Now, if they continue and they continue to be mean and rude, that's a different story. That again goes to the no-brainer of blocking. There are those instances that you just know without thought. But offer a little bit of grace to people.
The
They're
patina,
people.
the patina, no, they're not big issue, but sometimes you get them. Trolls are a little bit more disruptive. And guys, I'm gonna let you in a secret. Are you ready? I'm gonna let you in a really good secret.
What is he about to do?
Let me know if you're ready for the secret. Nobody wants the
I'm
secret.
not ready for the secret. Okay, go for it.
All right.
What are you doing?
So, opinions. Everybody has an opinion. Let me tell you, the opinions are like my belly button.
I'm glad he didn't say the other word.
They don't hurt me. They don't help me. They're just there.
I was blocked by a seller when I first joined because I didn't leave them. Exactly. People will block because you give them a bad review. People will block because you didn't give them a good enough review, because you gave them a review. People will block because you look cross-eyed at them in the chat. This is ridiculous, okay? Before you block, unless it's one of those clear-cut cases, do you have advice for selling reseller boxes to clear out inventory? Tabitha, let me think about that. Reseller. All right, I have two things to come back to here. People block for the stupidest reasons. People block because you didn't read their show notes. They offer zero grace. They think they are the god of whatnot. No, look, this is my show. I can run my show any way I want. Everybody can run their show the way they want. But think about what you're doing when you're blocking a person, okay? I have a list of 8 ways you may be hurting yourself by blocking somebody too quickly. That seller that blocked me is missing out on a whole lot of money. There you go. You're losing a potential customer. Right off the bat, you are losing a potential customer. And 9 out of 10 times, if it's not for the belligerent reason, that person being a terrible person, 9 out of 10 times when you're blocking, you are blocking because you do not know how to deal with conflict, because you do not know how to address a situation in an adult-like manner, and it's easier to block somebody than it is to address a situation like another adult, to perform proper customer service. Think about if in brick and mortar, if all they had to do was to block you. All they had to do was to be like, sorry, there's the door, get out. Every single time they had a customer that was unhappy with them, or asked a question they didn't like, or broke a policy that they didn't, that they set in place, and all they had to do in a brick and mortar is say, there's the door, get out. Is that how businesses run? For some reason, though, we come to Whatnot and think that that's how we run a business, by kicking everybody out that disagrees with us, that doesn't follow our policies, that we just have any little slightest irritation with, because we're not big enough people to deal with a conflict in a nice, professional, grown-up manner. If you can't tell, it gets under my skin, people that are block happy.
Hold on. It's tricks. The same thing happened to me. I disagree with the host, and the host immediately got upset because I was just posing a question. I wasn't even trying to impose my will. I was posing a question, but the host got so upset that they kicked me out and blocked me. But hey, like I said, everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Lori says, look, I had a troll that asked for a carburetor continuously. Lori sells Ray Dunn, not carburetors. And it turned, because she handled it in an appropriate manner, it turned into somebody who comes by and is now nice. Okay? So think about this. You're losing a potential customer. How you treat people at the very beginning when they maybe possibly mistreat you, you can lose somebody who could be a really good customer. It could be a misunderstanding. They could not understand your rules. They could be brand new. What does Libby say here? Hold on, I'm missing something. What about the one they tried to cancel after I shipped and wanted a refund because it shipped too slow? That's just bad customer. That's just them being bad. We could talk a little bit about refunds in a minute here, but yeah, some people just don't understand. Some people think this is Amazon, and they have to learn the etiquette of Whatnot. This is a different world, a different way of shopping. Did you know all the rules when you came here? Did you ask to promote? Did you maybe ask, hey, how does shipping work? How do I put a coupon code in? These are all normal questions that people knew on the app. Don't kick them out because of it. Or if you don't want to explain it over and over, answer it in your show notes and say, hey, that's a great question. Check my show notes. I got an answer for you there. Really, really simple. Amazon mentality. There you go.
Michelle Ray. Yes, that's the wizard.
Yep, there you go. Right here. I got blocked once. She was selling clear glass and kept saying it was uranium, and I politely corrected her and got booted. People can't take disagreement in their rooms. They don't know how to be told that they're wrong gracefully. This is a problem, and then they boot because you disagreed with them. We should all be open. Again, we talked about the other day, respectful disagreements is part of a healthy community. Blocking culture is not part of a healthy community. The same people that are going to block you in an instant are the same people saying community or competition or community over competition, and I'm a community builder and I'm a mentor and I'm a helper and I'm here for you and I'm an educator, are the same people who are going to block you in an instant because they can't handle any type of conflict. It really frustrates me. So besides, good morning. So besides losing a potential customer, so a potential customer they could have been buying in your show and they just misunderstood something. The loss of future revenue. Okay, maybe it's not even a customer right then, but those people lurking in your room, those people who take longer to warm up, longer to make their minds up that they want to buy from you, they may have to come to your show 5, 6, 7 times before they turn into buyers. If maybe they say something in the chat that you don't like and you boot them, those are the people that could have been on the border of turning into the best customer you've ever had. You don't know who you're kicking out of your room. You don't know their pocketbooks, their desires, their wants. Maybe what you sell is what they collect, and they would have been the best customer you've ever had in your life. And I was a lurker. There you go, Shalom's like, I was a lurker for a while. Maybe they've been a lurker for 10 shows and never said a word. Yes, that's vintage. Yeah, so did I. So maybe they've been a lurker and never said a word, and they finally got the courage to put something in the chat. Let me tell you, when I first was on Whatnot, I was scared to death to put things in the chat. Why? Because I didn't know what was acceptable. I didn't know how to talk about being a seller without promoting my show. I kept hearing, don't promote in my room. So then I kept wondering, could I say in my show, or I did this, or I sold this, or hey, I've seen that before? Because if I said anything that related to me being a seller, would they take it wrong? I didn't understand the culture. I'm not a super pick up on vibe person really, really easy. And it made it difficult to put in chat without understanding it immediately. I'm missing some comments here. They had no idea the trickle down. Exactly, the trickle down effect. We had a person ask if we had fairy lamps, and there was 40 fairy lamps behind me. I was like, are you serious? I politely say, there you go. Exactly. There are dumb questions in this world. I'm just saying, I'm not a believer that there are no dumb questions. They are, but we still respond to dumb questions nicely. I have a lot of lurkers end up buying after a few shows. This is it. You don't know if they've been lurking for a long time. I got Dusty Darling Relics. That what a cute name. I got blocked from a seller just because I shop at the same flea market as her that she live sells at, and I've actually bought from her. Yep. Look, there's sellers on here who will preach and tell you, you can do this. You can be just like me. You can make as much money as me. You can do this. And then you do what they're doing and they get pissed that you're doing what they're doing. Doesn't make sense to me. Also, I think people need to realize that some buyers are shut-ins and people have severe social anxiety. 100%. Grace and empathy. Have grace. Exactly. Just hypocrites. Yeah. Offer a little bit of compassion to people, okay? So, you also don't know if they just buy one thing. Think about it from this side too. Maybe this isn't blocking, but canceling. And maybe this is blocking. If they buy something from you and it's broke, whatever, they have a problem, they ask for a refund, or they don't leave the best review. If how you handle it can change that from an unhappy customer to a good customer. If you just respond to their bad review, I'm so sorry, I would love to give you a refund for that. Whatever it is, that can make them come back to you. How you handle those. But if you block them, they're like, screw you. They sure don't have any customer service, right?
Hey, everybody.
It's all about you.
Hey, everybody. That eye for beauty, let me tell you. That eye for beauty. Oh, my God. Oh, yes. So do as he says. Remember him.
And it's not just one person you're blocking, okay? Every person on here has friends. You block one person, you think they're going to keep their mouth shut? Oh no, they're going to tell Bob and Sally and Sue all about how you blocked them. Is that bad? Is that one block worth the bad reputation now that you're creating for yourself? Because every one block could potentially be 5 people now who are like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to buy from that person. And block again. Now you have 10 people that, I don't know. Okay, the domino effect. Oh, well, ADHD, hello, thank you. I'm so glad you got to be here too. With the plate, I'll run it in 2 seconds. Let's get through this and we'll run some random items today. We'll just do a few at a time. Someone I blocked when I didn't know better. Unblock them. You can go, can't you go and unblock people? If you want to unblock people, I think you can. You can unblock people. Think about this. If by hitting block, you're hurting yourself in the fact that you're losing the chance to provide excellent customer service to somebody. Okay? You could practice de-escalation skills. You can practice your communication skills. You can practice acting like a professional with boundaries. You are hurting yourself because I don't care who you are and how long you've been in customer service. We all still need to practice how to be good customer service people on a continual basis. We all need to practice how not to let our emotions get the best of us and to respond professionally and kindly. And every time I hit block, I'm not practicing those skills. I'm just avoiding a problem. I'm avoiding a situation that I don't have the skills or the emotional intelligence to deal with. How about, yes, practice being decent human beings. Exactly. So you also create an echo chamber. And if you guys don't know what an echo chamber is, there are sellers on here who absolutely have echo chambers, okay? This is when you block every single person who disagrees with you. So the only people left in your room are the ones echoing what you say. The only people that are left in your room are yes men that are echoing exactly what you want because you have blocked everybody else. How is that helpful to you? Common sense isn't so common. You have sheep. You have a bunch of sheep. That's right, I for Beauty. Echo chambers aren't good. They're not. A part of a community is healthy disagreements. Healthy disagreements is part of a community. If you block everybody who disagrees with you, you just have a room of little sheep, like I for Beauty says. All right. I have a few more. Let's run a few things. You guys keep putting in there. We're going to run a couple of items random. Don't go nowhere. We're going to do like 3 items and then we'll come back and we'll keep talking. But it is a chat and sell, so I got to hold true to that to some degree here. Let's do this plate over here because it is a gorgeous plate. And I don't have my riser. My husband's going to yell at me that I don't have a riser, but we're going to make do right now. Are you going to turn this way, my love? Oh, he wants me to show it like this. All right, this is absolutely stunning. If you like gallery walls, check this out. I love the coloring on this. I love the design. I cannot read the back. There is your maker's mark. No chips or cracks. We do have a few spots of staining here, but I cannot read that. Absolutely stunning though. I'm sure it's about a 10-inch plate. Yep, 10 inches. We're going to run it. Dollar starts. Everything we do is dollar starts. $4.50 shipping today. And I'm going to talk about the PA meetup while this is running. Let me get this down to 10 seconds. Okay, it is running. If you guys live near PA while this is running, feel free to bid on this if this is your style. Thank you so much, Gigi's Vintage. If you are near PA or love to travel, we are doing a PA meetup October 3rd. Tickets are limited. They are in the bin for you to purchase. So please feel free. If you want to come to the PA meetup, it is October 3rd, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, 9 to 3 o'clock, Green 13. Thank you so much for your bid. Who got that? Swan and Thistle. Thank you. That is heading to you. You are very welcome. And he played. That is my least favorite graphic that my husband plays. Why is there 2 of me? 2 of me is too many. 1 of me is a lot to take. If you live around Pennsylvania, I just want to do a meetup. This is a great one. Green 13 is going to be talking. Dragonfly Neen, I Love Discounts, and me. We're also looking at some other possibilities of like panel discussions, morning of breakouts, education activities, and then networking in the afternoon. Your ticket price includes a continental breakfast and a lunch, plus there'll be snacks and like normal drinks. October 3rd is the date. It is a Saturday, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So tickets are for sale. Whatever the amount shown of tickets is the amount of spaces we have left. Tickets will be on sale till about mid-September, and then I have to give food counts, so we're not going to do it after that.
Thank you, SS Vintage.
Oh, you're back in Ireland that week. Well, I kind of got to forgive you for that because Ireland or Harrisburg, that's a toss-up. That's a really hard one. That's amazing. I'm like jealous instantly. What are we doing? My love, he's doing hand signals. I don't know what you're doing. All right, we have, I got a tag on here. Let me take this tag off. I forgot to take the tag off. We'll leave it on. You get a tag. I'll take it off before we send it. All right, we have 2 Francoma serving bowls. These are amazing. They do say Francoma on the bottom. If you like Francoma, these are awesome. They're great salad bowls. They're really good ice cream bowls. Y'all think about the size of this for ice cream. You're going to get 2 of them. They match. They're in perfect condition. And they're running right now 2 Francoma, which is a really popular, really wonderful pottery person. Pottery maker, not person. Have a great day, Trickstar. Hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for coming by. Thank you for your bids. Rainy D, congratulations. Those are heading to you. You know, y'all, I probably should be throwing some stickers on here. We're going to do one more item, and then we are going to get back to talking. I have some few more points on why blocking hurts you in the long run. Let's do one more plate. Since the plate was popular, let's do another one because this one is gorgeous. This is, let me see, Limoges. Is this Limoges? I can't read it. No, Germany. Hold on. Bavaria, Germany. There we go. All right. This one is absolutely stunning. This is more of your bread and butter size. So 7.5 inches. It is Bavaria. No chips or cracks. Running this guy right now. Up and going. And then we're going to talk some more. And thank you for looking at that one. All right, let's talk. You're going to see my notes. You're going to read all my notes there.
All right, I love discounts. You twisted my arm.
Hey,
I'm
everybody.
missing the conversation because I was too
Please put
focused on
bunnies
selling.
in the chat.
Ooh, yeah, baby. Let's go. Woot woot.
So here's the other thing. Other ways blocking is going to hurt you. You are missing out on future networking possibilities. You never know what that connection is going to bring you. Now, this may be a very selfish way to look at it.
Hold that thought. So, the White Rabbit, OBS is a special software that you run on a computer that allows you to do different things like the special effects. You can achieve the same things that I do with OBS. If you have questions, I'll put it in the box so you can send me a message.
Okay. Future networking. You never know what one connection is going to bring you. You never know where that connection is going to lead. I Love Discounts, Green 13 and me, we do a podcast every Sunday, Reselling Roundtable. I Love Discounts. If you can do your magic and put it in there, I would love that. When we first met each other, none of us knew what that ultimately would bring. Let me tell you a story, because Green 13 could have easily blocked me the first time I ever really made comments in his room. Now, but because he didn't, look at where it's taken us to have a podcast every week together. There's our Reselling Roundtable. To be doing this meetup where we're all kind of joining forces and doing speeches at the meetup. So the first time I was ever said something in Green 13's room, I would go in and watch him every single week. I'm a huge fan. I think he's a very intelligent person, very good businessman. And I learned a lot. And I remember just sitting there and I would tell my husband, I'm like, he was getting 200-300 people in his room, maybe not 300, 2.5. And I would say, man, if I could just have him call me out, man, if he would say Zoe's Treasures, think about what that would do for my business. You keep interrupting me.
I'm sorry, but there's 2 questions. The first one is I can't do the OBS on whatnot because the way the screen is too small for me to be able and for you to be able to see and grasp all the concepts and be able to see it properly. on whatnot because of the vertical aspect. And then the second one was, yes, it's on YouTube. The Reselling Roundtable is on YouTube.
Thank you. I Love Discounts, I'll get to you in a minute. I actually don't remember our first conversations. So I used to sit there and just, oh man, if Jeremy would just call me out, that would boost my business. It would be just like this endorsement that he would say my name. And what happened? I had my tax shows. At that point, I was doing tax talk shows. I was maybe getting 5 people in my room. I Love Discounts was one of them at the time. And somebody in Jeremy's room made a rude comment about my tax shows. Can you believe somebody's giving tax advice on whatnot? That's stupid. And I got butthurt. And I immediately in the chat, that's me. Why are you saying that? Blah, blah, blah. You know what Jeremy's response was? I got a call out. I got a call out by Zoe's Treasures. We are not going to have that kind of discussion in the chat today. Not the call out that I wanted at all. Okay. I wasn't rude, but I was defending myself. But I also jumped to defending myself very fast and emotionally. And I was worked up and I probably wasn't as kind as I should have been. He could have easily have blocked me at that point. He didn't. He offered grace. I shut my mouth. I calmed down. Had he blocked me, we never would be where we are today. We wouldn't have got to where we are. You don't know that block, what that relationship is ultimately going to lead to. So keep that in mind when you're blocking people. Sometimes they're just passionate about something. Maybe they're trying to defend themselves. Give them the grace that as humans we should be giving to each other. So that's just kind of one example of a networking opportunity. And then I Love Discounts. I told you had to be active in chat for him to call you out. You did, yes. I was active in the wrong way. And then I Love Discounts, we met through a chat show and just basic networking, and it evolved from there. So you guys, you just don't know where it's going to come from when you're blocking people. The other thing, and this to me is the biggest reason why we don't want to block. Every time you block somebody for a questionable reason, you create fear in your room. We talk a lot about our atmosphere. They don't. I agree, Swamp Chick. People don't realize about how bad it's going to affect you. We talk about the environment, the experience, the atmosphere, the vibe that we're creating in our room. Every time you block somebody, you're adding fear into that mix. Do you really want people in your room to have any thoughts of being afraid? What if I say the wrong thing? Are they going to block me too? What if I'm just asking a question? You start to put doubt and questions in every single person's mind in that room. Could they start asking, can I disagree with them? Can I joke around with them? Can I give honest feedback? All of these things, they would be afraid to chat. Yeah. Yes. And the person you block will go and tell a bunch of other people that that's what happened. So think about it. I have a few things. I have 4 things to think about before you block somebody. Now, you don't have to follow this. Thank you so much, Tanya's Vintage. You don't have to do it this way. These are just things that I thought, hey, these are pretty good questions to consider before you block somebody. I also, in case you're just coming in on this part of the conversation, when people are being ugly people, there are definite no-brain reasons that you block. Those aren't the ones I'm talking about, okay? But ask ourselves, are they hurting the experience for other buyers? Before we block them, is asking to promote, is asking what the shipping is asking how the coupons work, is that hurting the experience for other buyers? If it's a no, is it really a blockable offense? What about, is this a one-time issue or is it a pattern? A one-time issue is, I don't understand the etiquette, I'm new here, I'm just asking a question and you can't see body language, so maybe it's being read in a way that I didn't intend for it to be read. So is it a one-time thing or is this a pattern? Okay, he's giving me a note. I have no idea what you're trying to tell me. Okay, showing me the note again doesn't help me understand. Okay, so is this a one-time thing or is this a pattern? I had someone 10 Zoom to show a flea bite on a 100-year-old bull for a refund. Instead of blocking, I changed. There you go. Shiny squirrel. Exactly. If somebody points out a flaw in something that you've sent to them, I'm so sorry. That must be so disappointing to you. How can I make that better? What can I do for you? It's as easy as that, y'all. Look, we all have it. You're going to zoom in. This is 100 years old. Wouldn't you expect a flea bite on a 100-year-old item? Believe me, I feel the same way about my items. They're vintage. They're not going to be perfect. But at the end of the day, that person bought it. They bought it in a condition that they expected it to be in, and they're disappointed as a buyer. My job as a seller is to turn that disappointment into some type of relief, some type of situation where it comes out in a positive, not a negative, so they'll come back and give me another chance. The worst part is once they block you, you can't even communicate to work it out because they don't know how to communicate. They take away your ability to try to be a grown adult and communicate with them. Exactly. A seller blocked me. I have no clue as to why. I never said anything wrong in the chat, and Yep. There is a giveaway running, you guys. It is a CEO affirmation card, affirmation pack. They're down here. They look like this. That is our giveaways. Seller jumped on someone who promoted and told them they would only allow folks they know to promote. I felt it was a rude response, so I blocked. You blocked this up. I mean, that's the thing. How you handle stuff could put you in such a bad light that you block. I've been on here going on 3 years now. I think I've blocked 3 or 4 people, tops, and they are like very clear cut. I had no wishy-washy feelings about it. They were very clear cut situations of blocking. So think about these things. I have two more evaluations questions. Can this be resolved with communication? Somebody pointed out communication. Can this be resolved with communication instead of blocking? And here's the final one to think about before you block. Will blocking improve my business over the next year? Is getting rid of this person going to improve my business? Pretty simple, right? Okay, we had a couple of questions earlier. I'm going to go back. Feel free to put anything else in there. Keep telling me your thoughts on blocking. I love to read this stuff.
Mary, the way for you to realize that you've been blocked by a seller is that you cannot communicate with the seller and you cannot go into their shows. Okay.
Lori, I think Lori wrote a question, and I put a note here, and now I can't read my handwriting. Reseller boxes was one. There was another question I said I'd come back to. I think it was you, Lori. If I said I was going to come back, throw it back in there for me, please, so that I can, because I wrote it down and now I can't read at all what I wrote. Somebody did ask earlier, though, about selling clothing in reseller boxes, like trying to get rid of a lot of your clothing. I think it's a wonderful idea. I think creating a reseller box of stuff that you can't sell, just don't call it stuff that you can't sell. Call it, hey, I'm making you a reseller box. I have these 10 or so items. I would like to move them to a new home. Here you go. You're going to get a whole box, dollar start, whatever it may be. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Be creative. Oh, well, thank you. Whale private sale. That's a private. That's exactly what it says. Thank you so much. Now I can read it. So for the reseller boxes, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Be creative. Come up with different ways of what you're selling and different ways to describe it, different ways to package it together. I love that idea. I think just watch your language. Language is powerful. Don't call it leftovers. Don't call it clearance. Give it names that makes it sound like somebody would want to buy those items. I'm getting out of this line of inventory. Vacuum pack that will fit as yeah, good, very good. I love discounts. Very good tip there. And then they could put a lot more. I love that tip. I know the PO damaged what I sold. Gave customer refund. Michelle Ray, if it was a PO thing, Whatnot, if you're not doing your customer service, Whatnot will file that claim on your behalf. If you are doing your customer service, there is a button there that you can click to request a insurance claim through USPS. On failed payments, many call out sellers, Lori. Okay, failed payments. Let me just do the private sale for the whales. So somebody asked about, and then Lori, I'm going to answer that. I actually wrote it so I can read failed payments here. To do private sale for your big buyers or your top 10, or the people who are buying from you a lot, is it a good idea to do a private sale? I love the idea. I see nothing wrong with the idea if it works for your business. I know Jeremy at Green 13 had done something like that. He kind of built up to this all year long. And if you reach the top tier, he was doing this big private show where you got a chance to win something really cool. I think it was like gold or something you got to win, something of a lot of value. I see nothing wrong with that. I tried to do it. It didn't work for me in my business. Doesn't mean that it's a bad thing because it didn't work for me. Think about how many people do you have coming? What are your price points? How are you going to make it special for them? I already do dollar starts and low shipping. $10,000 of gold is what he did. So he made it really special. When I think about doing a private show and inviting my top 10, what am I going to do different that they can't already get in another show besides being just 10 of them or 20 of them, right? That doesn't also hurt me as a seller. We got to keep in mind that this is a business. We want to honor people and celebrate and thank them, but we also got to be business minded while we're doing that. So when I refunded, there was something there for me to make a claim. Yes, there was. Who's going to get this? There's a little button, Michelle. Mary Tom, thank you so much for being here. You got that giveaway. So
Congratulations.
yes, my love. What are you trying to tell me? He said, okay. But when I want a refund, when want a refund for item didn't ship fast enough after it shipped, Whatnot doesn't give choices except refund, replace. Unfortunately, Livy, I would suggest doing your own customer service. You could still apply for that. I think it's rolling out anyways. Come September, I think everybody's going to have their own customer service. You can't necessarily deny a refund, but you can ask more questions. You can ask for pictures, and sometimes that defers the refund.
I love discounts. I agree. And Livy, if you have if you scan the shipment and you have proof that it was shipped within the allotted time, reach out to Whatnot, explain the situation, and they can refund you.
And Whatnot's not going to give a refund if it's less than 14, 20 something days. There's actual guidelines on how long people have to wait. So if it really didn't get to them and it was 3 or 4 weeks, that's probably a legitimate reason why there was a refund. If it was a week or two, Whatnot's not going to refund that quick. They just won't. I was listening to one of my favorites and she said, selling bigger items, put 100 pounds on it. That way Whatnot won't ship, so that it was a local pickup. I don't understand the theory behind that.
You can always enable local pickup on your profile. You don't have to go and try to find loopholes.
Yeah, remember when vintage, I'm not understanding why would somebody want to do that? Help me understand that. Use the feature local pickup and the seller and buyer arrange for delivery. Yeah, I get the local pickup, but just to sell a really heavy item, local pickup only for shows for the Michigan meetup. Oh, lots of sellers are doing local pickup only for shows if it's a feature on Whatnot and you're using it appropriately, I don't see a problem with it. I don't know why there would be any question, like lamps, dressers, etc. Okay, so if you're selling to people that are around you, I'm not saying go off the app. We never want to go off the app, but if you're focused on only local sales of big items, that's not really what this app is set up for. So would you not find other methods to sell larger items? Yeah, we're looking for loopholes. I would just ask myself to begin with, is this really the place to even sell those type of items? If I have to find loopholes and ways to sell that, maybe I need to be selling those in a different manner. The antique guy got permission. Certain categories, certain people are allowed different things. The plants have a little bit different shipping. Food has different shipping. So there's certain categories based on what they're selling that the categories as a whole have different shipping. Now think about this. I don't know what antique guy it is, but if there's some antique guy making Whatnot millions of dollars, he may get some special privileges. That's the way businesses work. If I'm making Whatnot millions of dollars, guess what? They may give me special privileges. While we may not like it, that's just kind of life. Koi fish have different shipping. Yeah, so some categories in themselves, because of what they're shipping, have different rules than what most of the general population of Whatnot has. I had buyer's package lost in transit. I got paid and she got refunded and her package showed up 3 months later. Yeah.
Lucky.
Yeah, she got a little bonus, right? She got a little extra.
Lucky.
Yep, wholesale case packs, pallets, because the shipping is very different for those things. So I want to go back to the private shows, though, really quick for your whales. I want you to think about it from a business perspective. So when I think about it from my perspective, If I invite my top 20 people to a private show, what am I going to do for them that they're not already getting besides being a select group? It's dollar starts and $4.50 shipping. I could offer them free shipping. It's going to cost me a little bit more.
First dibs.
They can get first dibs. However, is that going to be to my benefit also? While we want to thank them, you've got to think like a business. At least in a room, I have a chance of making a little bit of money. This is what happened. I did a private show. I love the people that came. They are wonderful customers, my best customers. And there was three or four, maybe 5 people in the room. And I did dollar starts. Guess what? Things didn't get bid up because there's only three or four people. Having a private show and mentioning it in the chat will get people wondering how they can join. Absolutely. That FOMO. That's going to kick in that FOMO thing. So it wasn't, hello, Gretchen. It wasn't that, it was very great for them and it thanked them and it showed appreciation to them. But as a business, it didn't result very good in me besides the goodwill. There's always goodwill. Could I have created that goodwill in a way that they appreciated and also didn't hurt me as much? So I'm not against having shows if you can make it work for you, if it makes sense for both the buyer and the seller. At the end of the day, we're still businesses and we have to think like businesses in the sense of protecting our profits. So think about that. This kind of, does it work for you? For Green 13, it worked great. He had enough people in his room that it was like almost a regular show, but just for that group. So it just depends on your individual business. As a newer seller, I start things at what I need them to sell for. And Lucy's Barn, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with starting things at what you need them to sell for. Keep in mind, though, the principles of it, that the higher you go, the less bidders you're going to have, the less items you're going to sell, the longer it's going to take you to get to those goals. One price is comforting for people. You want more bids, you want put lower prices, you're going to get more bidding wars. So there's a lot of different techniques, theories, ways to price things. And I don't say any one of them is better than the other. I'm a firm believer in dollar starts, but I also know that that's not the right method for everybody out here. Millicent says, with Green 13, it was after a year of everyone moving up the ranks, like using the rewards program and spending more to get to that private show. And he probably, I wasn't in the private show. I didn't spend that much money. He probably had a good amount of people in there, I would guess. Millicent, I don't know if you know the number. I would assume probably 30 to 50 at least. So did he do, I think it was the people who had reached the top tier in his whatnot rewards, 41 people. So having a show, a private show for 41 people is different than having a private show for 3 people. And also think about what you're doing on the outside. What is it extra that you're giving them, right? So be confident. There you go, Lori, I love it. Be confident in your pricing. Whatever pricing you have, be confident in that pricing. Okay, failed payments. Somebody asked about calling people out on failed payments. I've changed my perspective on this. I used to mention it all the time. I would say, hey, Bob, go ahead, check your payment. Your bank's being a little funny. Whatnot does that. I have since heard multiple people say, it's embarrassing. I don't like it. I don't want it to happen. I know when my payment fails. I've heard so much feedback that I've changed my mindset on it, and I ignore it. I don't say a word anymore. I used to call it out all the time in a nice way. I wasn't mean about it. I was just like, hey, go check your payment, blah, blah, blah. I don't do it anymore. They know, and you know what? I've had 2 or 3 payments that have failed. They didn't fix it. I just put that item in the next show. How do you sell more? I have a lot of good merchandise, but I don't get a lot of sales. So Fran, okay, great question. I for Beauty, I love doing private shows, serving hams, beer, certified. There you go. How do you sell more? First of all, do you ever watch your shows back? So Fran, Vintage, Dragonfly, have you ever watched your shows back? That's number 1 question. Number 2 question, what's your pricing like? What's the quality of your items? I know from your point of view, you're probably like, I got the best stuff ever, which is great because we should all have confidence in our stuff, but really, is it the best stuff ever? What are you bringing to the table? What are you offering as the experience for people? And I would ask, number 1, are your prices too high? I commonly see this with new buyers coming onto the app, or new sellers coming onto the app. Their prices are usually pretty freaking high. If your prices mirror eBay prices, why should they buy from you and not eBay? All right, I'm going to wait and see if you answer. I had something else to talk about today too. We're going to keep talking. If you have questions, if I missed any questions, let me know. I think I've got caught up because they didn't buy them at a low enough price to resell them. Maybe, possibly, it could be all be about the sourcing. All right, a coupon question. Love me some coupon questions. I have a coupon question. Can I send out a Squirrel Bucks with my orders and Givvies? Or for the Givvy, can I send Happy Mail and mention all of my orders come with them? Where it's okay to say that you put coupons in boxes that go out of your house. That's okay to say. What you can't do is use your coupon to entice the sale or as a Givvy. There's only one way to use a coupon as a Givvy, and I'll explain that in a second. You can't use it to entice a sale. You can't say, hey, if you guys buy this tape measure, I'm going to throw in a 20% off coupon with it. You can't use it to entice. You can say, well, right now, I'm going to say it. Every time I send something out of my house, you're going to get a Zoe's Treasures rewards cards. We don't use a Whatnot reward system. We've made our own. I can explain how that works. That's okay to do. You just can't use it to entice the sale. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. And Fran, I'm coming right back to you. You cannot put Givvies, advertise Givvies, or advertise coupons as giveaways. Do I throw one in there? What you want to throw in a box, that's your business. You can throw anything you want in a box. There's nothing stopping you from putting stuff in boxes or putting stuff in giveaways. But your giveaway, what you write in there, should not be you're going to get a coupon. It just shouldn't. That's against terms of service. Now, the only way a coupon is allowed in a giveaway is if it is usable within the show. Terms of service says your giveaway cannot be for a future value. Means it can't be for something in another show. Has to be for this show. I Love Discounts does what they call Chubby Bucks. They say, okay, you're getting Chubby Bucks. It's $10 to be used in this show. The minute that giveaway runs, I Love Discounts sends that code. They're telling right there. They're putting it in there. Sends the code immediately so that person can use $10 within that show right away. That's allowed. It can't be for a future show.
Eye for Beauty.
Yes, a lot of people are breaking terms of service with that.
Are you afraid of what I'm going to send you in an email? Come on. I send all good stuff, Eye for Beauty.
Okay, so Fran says, I'm a new seller. Yes, my prices are high, but I pay up for my items. Number one problem right there, sourcing. What you pay for your items is your problem, not mine as a buyer. I know that sounds harsh. I'm not trying to be mean to you, but this is reality. I'm just going to cut to the chase and tell you how it is. What you pay is your problem. You have to deal with that. If you can't source inventory at a low enough cost to make a profit, that's not my problem as a buyer. Because you pay up for something doesn't mean I should pay you more for it when I can go over here and get it from Bob for half the price of what you're offering it for. That's probably the number one reason why you're not making a lot of sales right there. You need to source better. And that, I know I'm coming across very harsh. I'm not trying to be mean about this. It's just the bottom line of reselling. Sourcing is the absolute number one way that you make money. You don't make money when you sell it. You make money when you buy it. So you have to buy it at an appropriate price for you to be able to make that money. Think about this. I do dollar starts. I'm not the only one. There's a ton of people on this app that do dollar starts. I do dollar starts. So I know in my head, everything I buy, I have to think, okay, I'm going to start this for $1. Do I reasonably expect people to bid this up at a price point where I'm going to make a profit depending on what I'm paying for it? All right. Okay, oh my gosh, my husband is like so distracting me. Like I can't even focus on what he's saying. He's like, ah. Let me give you an example really quick. Right now, let's grab something and show you what we're talking about here. All right, look at this beautiful planter, okay? Does what I pay for it matter? whatsoever at all.
Nobody can see that.
Okay, he's yelling at me because I don't have a riser. Thank you so much. There's a riser. There we go. It doesn't matter what I paid for this. Okay, what matters is what you guys are going to pay for it. We're going to go ahead and run this. This is an absolute gorgeous snail planter. Who loves snails? I love me some snails. He hasn't been the same since Mexico lost. I'm telling you, Scuba. Oh my goodness. Anyways, look at how adorable this is. It has been used as a planter. I actually got this from the International Man of Mystery, which is one of my best sources right now, and I am loving being able to shop with the International Man of Mystery. But we have this gorgeous snail. It is attached to a plate. You can put some air plants in there. We're going to go ahead and run it for $1. It is going right now. So up and running for your snail pleasure.
Yes, Scuba, I'm sore because Mexico lost.
Coach Your Karma, that's going to you. Let me throw a sticker on that so that I make sure it gets to you. So, let's take that for an example. Coach Your Karma just paid $7 for this. I'm thrilled with that price. And Coach Your Karma could have paid $2, could have been $10, could have been $15. What the people are going to pay for it, I don't determine, right? The value is determined by the buyer. What my job is as a seller is to buy stuff in a low enough manner that what I expect it to sell for, I can expect to make a profit. Am I going to always be right? But how much I paid enough for where that was profitable for me. Is every item profitable for me? No. But I also don't look at every single item. I look at things in total. Some stuff sells for $1. I still have stuff that sells for $1. Thank you for not using an excessive amount of tape on your box. Oh, okay. Well, you're welcome. I hope that it stayed together. Y'all, do you have that same? I have this same, you walk this fine line where you want to wrap well enough to really make sure your stuff gets there safely, but you also want to save a little bit of money. So you're always kind of like, I want to use enough, but I don't want to be excessive. It's a fine line. Fine line. We're always walking that line. I hope that answered your question. I mean, I know I came across a little strong. I do apologize for coming across strong on that sourcing question, but you just can't. I can't charge you more because I paid more. That's just telling me that you're not sourcing in the smartest way possible. Hard lesson to learn for even myself. It is a learning process. And look, we all make mistakes. Real is love. I've bought stuff that I have way overpaid for, and there's certain items, I Love Discounts will tell you, they were with me on a large purchase, and I've been selling these different things, and they've watched, and certain times we're like, oh, yes, great. I know that was really good, and other times I'm like, okay, that I'm losing money on those items, but I have to wait until the whole lot of these things sell and then look in totality, was this worth my money or not? Did I make enough money on this purchase? Bottle set from you and your shipping. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Debs. We try. I got to give a lot of credit to my shipper, my packer, my 15-year-old daughter. She wraps everything in the bubble wrap and labels it, and then I put stuff in boxes. We have a whole system that we got going on there. Even though I have to admit, I'm a strong believer in checks and balances in systems. She does do a really good job. Don't pass bad sourcing onto your buyers. Take the loss and gain new. There you go. If somebody gets something really good from you for a really low price, guarantee they're probably going to come back to you and spend more money. You will make that money up in the long run. It's not a temporary loss can be a long-term gain if you look at it the right way. I have to admit, we have a system we do, checks and balances. She likes to cling wrap a little too much. I had to get on her. Yeah, she was using way too much of that. I'm like, girl, you're costing me a fortune. How do I motivate my 15-year-old to get out of bed to help pack? I have no idea because I have a hard time with mine too. I have no idea. I pay mine. I'll be transparent about it. I pay her $15 an hour to pack. At first she was hesitant, but soon as she started seeing that money in her bank, she started getting a little more happy about packing. Funny how that happens, right? How that getting some money makes you a little motivated there. What do you think about using an Excel spreadsheet to keep track of the items you buy and their cost? That's fantastic. If that works, if you are an Excel person, 100% totally okay with that. So, what does the bird theory say? 2 boxes of... Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, bird theory. So I'm talking about our process. I just want to, when you're shipping, we talk about checks and balances to make sure things are right. We made a mistake recently. Not sure how it happened. We all make mistakes, right? So the way we do it is I sell something. We stick our label on it. I put it on the shelf. Zoe grabs it. She wraps it in bubble wrap, puts that label on the top. Then we have cubbies and different people's orders go in different cubbies. She puts a sticker with their name. I will. I come behind her and I go to ship and I'll pull up, say, the bird theory. Look at her order. I grab everything out of the bird theory cubby. I double check that, everything on the screen matches the items I have. I box it and ship it. Somehow I missed a salt and pepper shaker. No idea where these things disappeared to. But we talk about good customer service. We do not use Notbot. My husband created a labeling system that works like Notbot. Aw, Zoe, she is going to love that. The bird theory, thank you so much. I will make sure she gets that today. Thank you very much. We do not use Notbot. My husband created a file extension that works very similar and will print the labels for me when something sells. Do I have one? Where is one? I don't know. On the planter, right here. They look like this. So when they print, these are what our labels look like. So it'll say the person's name, the title of the item, and then the date of the show. They'll be like, no, you're not going through my stuff. Is your daughter's name Zoe? Oh, I love it. Faye West. So I'm getting a question on, is my meetup going to be on the official Whatnot meetup site? No, it will not, because if you charge money for your meetup, it cannot go on that page. One of the requirements for the Whatnot site is that you do not charge for it. That's great if Whatnot's footing the bill, but I have to rent the space. I've already had to write the check to rent the space, and we're offering a continental breakfast and a lunch. So we are charging for it to help cover some of those costs. So they just won't allow me. Forgotten Memories, you got that giveaway. Congratulations. I also got a question on if we are using the new Meetups app, and we have chosen not to for this meetup. We did look into it. I have no opinion on it, but I have a website, so all the information's on the website. We have a sign-up list where we email very infrequently, but if there's major updates, like when tickets came on sale, we emailed out that information. I just don't have a need for it right now. I also have chosen for me to put all tickets through Whatnot. There's no requirement to do that if you're doing a meetup. I have chosen that just to make it very simple. For you as a buyer, you get a receipt. I get a receipt. Like, I get the information. We both are, very transparent on that transaction. I can pull reports from Whatnot so I can easily maintain the list. I just feel it makes it easy. If for some reason you buy a ticket, you need a refund for it, there's a process in place to get that money back to you. And honestly, I don't want people Venmoing me money. I don't want to be like, oh, well, I Venmoed you. Well, I didn't get it. Well, I sent it. I just don't. I wanted to avoid all of that and just have a system that I know is already in place and works for me.
Santa Girl, I created a little program that loads into a Google Chrome browser on the computer and sends to print the label of the auction. If you have any questions, I'll put it in the box.
Shalom. Yes, if I forget, just remind me again. Scuba Stevio got a ticket. You guys, if you are interested in coming to the meetup, the tickets are in the bin. Let's see how many. We have 96 left. It sounds like a lot, but they have been going like crazy. We've only had them for sale for 24 hours now, and they've maybe 48. Maybe it's been 2 days, and they've been going like crazy. So, and that's it. Once they're gone because we have limited space at the venue. So I am asking, because we cannot put it anywhere, like it's not advertised other places, to spread the word. If you're coming, talk about it in your shows, tell your friends, invite people to it. Tickets will always be on every single show I have up until like 2 weeks before the event. How many? There was 125, I think I listed to begin with. I love the information. Oh, thank you so much. Do you offer any one-on-one help for tracking ideas for new sellers, including your label printer? Kim, feel free to reach out to me. Absolutely. Reach out to me, DM me. I'm always happy to do a one-on-one with somebody. I'm not going to charge you for that, but I'm always happy to talk to people about things. So sometimes I have some good ideas. Sometimes I don't. It's a crapshoot. You never know what you're going to get with me. So the meetup is in Pennsylvania, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, on October 3rd. It is anybody who wants to come there. That's my website. It lists all the information there on my website, Zoe's Treasures, under PA Meetup. The morning is going to be a morning of like education and activities. We have Green 13 will be speaking, Dragonfly Neen will be speaking, I Love Discounts will be speaking, and so will I. So we're going to do like a general session. We're going to have some breakouts where you get to pick a couple different things you want to talk about. We are going to then come back for another general session. There'll be like a get to know you type game that works for introverts and extroverts. Trust me, I'm going to be nice to everybody. You're going to get a continental breakfast. You're going to get lunch, and then we'll have an afternoon of just kind of free networking, get to know people, meet some connections, meet some new friends. So a little bit of education, a little bit of networking, whole lot of fun. That is the meetup. So I would love to have as many people there as possible. Buyers and sellers are welcome. Anybody over 13 needs to have a ticket. So if you have kids younger than 13 that you need to bring with you, they are more than welcome as long as you are with them. A band. No, I will not have a band, and I cannot sing or dance for you. That would make everybody run for cover. We are actually holding it at an old firehouse, so it's kind of a neat location. They've turned an old firehouse into a community center, so that's where we're going to be at. So, and I scrolled right out of your live show. It is. I do that all the time. I scroll through things like that. There you go. I Love Discounts is going to be our entertainment for the day. We haven't decided the topics, exactly what we're talking about. I would assume, knowing each of us, mine will be somewhere in the accounting tax realm. I Love Discounts will probably be something on shipping. Dragonfly Neen, it's up to her. I'm not too sure. That would be a good one. Probably something businessy, I would assume. And then Jeremy, is probably going to be something similar to one of his Sunday talks.
Afro Beauty. You never know. Maybe Tony will bring his crown and his kaftan.
I can't talk, I almost choked on my coffee. We're looking to try to make it kind of cool. We do sourcing. Okay, so Dragonfly Neen's going to do sourcing. She can source, let me tell you. I've seen what she has. She can source. Perfect person to talk about it. Tape tip. The Harbor Freight shipping tape is the best quality I've ever used. Occasionally it's on sale for 30% off. There you go. There's some tips. I love tips. You know what? Tennessee's only about 8 hours away. Just saying, Shalom. 8 hours.
Thank you, Miss Mary.
We are south of York, but the meetup's going to be in Harrisburg. It is about 30 minutes from the airport. When you buy a ticket, you will actually receive a real ticket in the mail along with some information. The information you get lists some close hotels. It's going to give you some other just basic, what the weather's like in PA. So we do have some information that comes to you when you do buy a ticket. So you're not just kind of left hanging trying to figure things out on your own. We are trying to be as professional about it as we possibly can be. Advertising your show to pull buyers in and keep them in. Rebecca's Rusty Relics, I love that question. First of all, do you have an anchor show? Let me ask you that. The best thing you can do is to be on a certain day, certain time, every single week, over and over and over and over again, so people know where to find you. There you go, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. So people know where to find you. That's number one. Number two is go and network, talk to people, do what you're doing here. Make friends. The more you make friends, the more your name's mentioned, the more people know about you. Number three, make sure you're doing calls to action in your shows. Are you telling people what you want them to do? Like right now, I'm telling you guys, I want you to go buy a PA Meetup ticket. I want you to be there. I want you to take a look at my shows. Go and bookmark my Saturday show. This Saturday, I'm doing Timeless and Elegant. Oh, just wait till you see it. It is to die for, some of the glass I have on Saturday. Are you doing that? Are you doing calls to action, letting people know what you expect? The tickets are on top of the cubbies. So that would be some of my things. Then take a look at your show. What is the experience? You want people to stay in your show? They need to enjoy the experience they're having. What is that experience? Is everything around you supporting the vibe that you wanted to have? Is it supporting the vibe? Is your lighting good? Is your pricing good? Are you showing items? Can they see them clearly? Are you describing it? Are you setting them at ease? Are you talking to your new people and your repeat people? There's a new seller. I've done my homework, friends. Oh, thank you, Josie. Thank you so much. So those are some things right off the top of my head to think about. Okay, you guys, if you buy a PA meetup ticket, this is what you get in the mail. You will get an actual ticket. And then we will send you, we have 3 pages of information that tells you all about different things around Harrisburg, the meetup, all the stuff. So this is what you get when you buy a ticket. Then, of course, you get to attend. So you're not just going to get like, oh, cool, thank you. Thank you for being there. Here's a packing list. You're actually going to get some stuff. Trunk space is fine. We're not going to stick you in the trunk.
iPhone Beauty. No, not trunk space, but would you be willing to do like Carnival Queen? You can ride in the hood.
I do. Do I have a link we can download and push on our shows? Probably my website. I would say go to the website because it lists all the information, and there's a link on the website to buy tickets. That the link actually brings them back to my Whatnot straight to buy tickets. So yes, if you want, that would probably be the best is to zoe'streasures.com. So I think that's the easiest way. And then I always have the tickets in the marketplace too. All right. I have one more thing to talk about before we go on. And this was one, does anybody know Birdie's Boutique? I love Birdie's Boutique. I love what she sells. And she was really sweet. I went into her show yesterday and I'm stealing topics from people. I'm really just expanding on topics. I was in her show and somebody asked a question about consignment. She was talking about consignment and somebody asked a question and I'm like, what a great, I cut it all off. Thank you so much. What a great topic to talk about, just a little more in depth about consignment. I am sure you guys have heard, there's been a lot of talk about doing consignment, particularly with rising inventory costs. Sourcing is difficult. Competition is getting harder and harder to find the things. I have been hearing a lot more chatter about people wanting to co-sign and seeing a lot more questions in chat. So I thought I would touch on just some of the pros and cons of it, but also the tax implications of it. And this isn't a big tax talk, just some stuff to keep in mind if this is something that you're considering. Forgotten memories, yeah, you did. We actually talked about it a little bit. So when you think about the pros of this, so think about some of the good reasons why you might want to do co-signed inventory. Do they have to be you don't have to tell people. I don't think you have to tell anybody that it's co-signed. That's between you and the person you have a contract with. I love discounts. That is one of my cons. Absolutely. We're going to, having customers on both ends of the deal kind of sucks. Yep. So, but let's talk about the pros because there's good and bad about everything and it's understanding before we make decisions, right? No inventory. You don't have that. They bring you the inventory. So your sourcing becomes easy because people are bringing it to you. Do you have to network and make those connections? Yes, but you're not out there hunting for the inventory. They're just bringing it to you. You're getting ready for and listening to me? Oh, there's lower financial risk. You're not putting out a ton of money on inventory that you don't know if you're going to sell. So you're lowering your financial, output and risk to begin with, which helps improve your cash flow. So instead of putting cash on there, I can put, take more cash for me. Liability is one of the cons. You guys are you nail it. You guys know all the liability, all the cons. And then it's also a really good way to have consistent inventory, right? I don't know how you guys are doing it. I'm out there hunting every weekend for my inventory. I work full time. My weekends are filled with sourcing. And there's times I get a little nervous, like, am I going to be able to source enough to support sales for the next 2 weeks? So obtaining that inventory can be very hard. So one of the cons of co-signing is the ease that you can get the inventory. I haven't been exactly, the percentage that you would have to charge would have to be pretty good. And that brings me to, there you go, the percentage you would have to charge once a packing, lower margins. So you may be making less money. So this is some of the cons as we move over to the con side. You may actually be making less money than what you could be making on yours. And as I Love Discounts pointed out, you're dealing with customers on both ends. That becomes difficult. You're trying to please two masters and you're stuck in the middle. I don't want to be in that spot. It's one of the main reasons I would choose not to co-sign. You have the person who is giving you the inventory. It was probably grandma's or somebody that means something to them and they want a certain price. Well, how do you're like, hey, look, I do dollar starts. Oh, but I want $50 for this. And they don't understand the reselling business. So that's hard managing those expectations. And then you have customers on this side over here wanting good deals, wanting good shipping. That's a hard place to be in. Don't you need to own the stuff to legally sell it without an auctioneer's license? SS Vintage depends on the state you live in. So the laws for that are different in every state. In Pennsylvania, I'm pretty sure that I couldn't co-sign without an auctioneer's license for the state that I'm in. So that's the other thing. Legally, definitely check into what your state laws are to make sure you're on the up and up on that because you don't want to get in trouble. Oh, that's what you meant about transparency. Okay, sorry, iFor Beauty. I meant you like disclosing the fact. My local auction house used to take 30%. They now take 40. Just FYI, it's going to be easier to be competitive if that's happening. Oh, okay. What does Daisy Lane say? Hold on, I missed. Ran a consignment. There you go. Somebody who's done it. Ran a consignment auction service for 10 years. Took 7 years to be profitable. So that means 70% of the time, Daisy Lane was not profitable in the beginning of this. 100 hours a week and 2 masters. That's the big one for me. The 2 masters is the big reason for me. Auction houses are picky, so being able to sell everything helps. Do people have to actually be able to do auctions to get an auctioneer license? Like I talked fast, but I can't. No, you don't have to get an auctioneer's license. I have no idea. I've never gone through whatever I have to do in my state.
You do get training though.
But I think you get training on it.
You do get training. You have to attend the auctioneer school, and you do get training. So it's a skill that you'll pick up.
So some of the other things, think about the legality of it. Now you're getting into contracts because you have to have a contract with the person. What about cancellations? Who bears the burden of cancellations after the fact? You co-sign it, you sell it, you pay that person, and then the order gets canceled. There's a lot of these hidden little things that happen where when it's just you selling your inventory, you handle it, it's on you. Co-signing adds complications to the full process of selling. Just something to consider if that's what you want to go into. None of these you can overcome all of it. Just is it worth it to you? Own the inventory so your control. Yeah, you don't you don't own it. Your control over that inventory is limited. And the fact that you don't own it brings up iFor Beauty's point earlier. There's a liability to that. If somebody gives you $5,000 worth of inventory and a flood comes through and ruins that inventory, who's on the hook for that inventory? You or the person who gave it to you. There's a lot of liability that puts that. Maybe now you need insurance where you didn't need insurance. What if it's damaged in transit? Great points. There just brings into a lot more complications and questions that you need to consider to work through it. And we haven't even got to the financial side of it or the tax side of it yet. You, Southern Charm. Are you just asking that to get me riled up? So, as a new seller, if something is damaged in transit, what happens? So, if you sell something, Naya, if you sell something and USPS damages it, a couple things are taken into consideration. Whatnot will look, if Whatnot's handling your customer service, they're going to look and say, was it packaged well enough? If they feel that you did your job right as a seller, they'll put in a USPS claim on your behalf. They'll usually pay for it too on your behalf. If Whatnot feels that you didn't do your job as a seller, it comes out of your ledger and you can't file a claim. So it just depends if Whatnot's handling it. If you're handling your own customer service and it's damaged in transit, you can just automatically select a button to choose to put that USPS claim in. When I did consignment, I had high insurance policy, but there's a lot of companies that will not cover. There you go. That's from somebody who's done it. I didn't even know that they would say no to it. So if fabric sellers buy bolts from the retailer and have to sell for a certain price standard, is that not if you have bought it and own it outright? There is a difference. And this is where it comes into your financial, legal, and tax things. And we'll get to it. Let me just read these questions. Probably best to wholesale purchase the entire inventory. There you go. Just buy them out. Buy it and then you own it and you do what you want with it without having to consider somebody else's wants and desires within that transaction besides your customer. All you then have to do is work with the customer, not people on both sides of the transaction. I heard that Whatnot is going to change over the policy where sellers will now be, they will. Rustic. Customer service is coming to all sellers. There's quite a few of us who have chosen to be in it for months and months already. We were in the beta. It is fantastic. Let me tell you, do not be afraid of it. It is fantastic. I love having my own customer service, but it is coming to everybody. You don't understand consignment at all, like why somebody would do it. That just, be more thrifty. That all just doesn't sound like it's worth 40% of what it would bring. Exactly, be more thrifty. However, to some people it may be. Maybe some people weren't making high profit margins anyways, and they see this as a viable option for them. I go back to understand the pros and cons and make the best decision for your business. I heard one case where the new seller had so many shipping issues that Whatnot terminated their ability to sell. I wouldn't be surprised, Grammy G. Yeah, that's part of, you have to maintain. You're agreeing to sell items, to represent them correctly, and to ship them in a proper way so customers will get them. Me not being able to ship properly over and over again harms Whatnot as a whole. They have no reason to keep me as a seller if I can't figure out how to get my shipping correct. Okay, so let's just think about the financial side. Why consignment is different than inventory? When I do inventory, I'm trading cash for inventory. Inventory is just cash sitting on a shelf. It's mine. I own it. I don't own that consignment. I haven't given any cash. I get this stuff. It's not my inventory. It all belongs to somebody else. It's just somebody else's stuff sitting in my home or warehouse. There you go. There's the seller provided support. For the person that was asking, you can go to help.whatnot.com and it's going to tell you all about it. Get your ship together. I love it. I love discounts. That needs to be your new logo right there. Or not logo, but saying for your ship shows. Sometimes, yes. Sometimes it is doing that on your shelf. It's particularly how I said it. So it's not, you don't own it. It is not inventory to you. So now we bring in a lot more accounting complications to it. So not only all the things we talked about, we have more accounting complications. You still have to record all that revenue. So you're selling stuff on consignment, all of that money that makes is taxable income to you. Okay? It's not like, oh, well, 40% went to him. I don't need to pay tax on that. No, all of it is your taxable income. It goes on your tax return. Then what you pay for that 40%, 30% is an expense to your business. Again, we're getting into more accounting issues, trying to keep track of all of that consignment stuff. Before you even do it, and this is the part that people miss, and this is where they start getting in trouble because they're like, oh, consigning sounds so great, because they're not thinking about the cons. Before you even make that first payment, you have to get the what would be the consigner. You have to get the person that you're getting the inventory from to fill out a W-9 with their social security number and their address, because guess what? You have to issue them a 1099 at the end of the year. So now you're having to do more for tax purposes. If you pay them at least $600, then you have to issue a 1099 NEC. It's a different 1099 than what you get from Whatnot. So I'm not going to get too deep into the tax stuff today, but just considering the fact, not only everything that we've talked about on the cons, now you're like managing their personal information, their social security information that you have to obtain, keep safe, make sure nobody gets a hold of, put, locked up in your house somewhere. And then you have to either take on that responsibility of yourself of adding tax forms to send out to people, or now hire or pay somebody else to do that tax reporting on your behalf. There's a lot to it. Which ones? These ones? He's telling me to do something. I don't know what he wants to do. Is this what you want, my love?
Yes.
And where's my stand?
Behind you.
I lose everything.
The other way.
Here we go. Harrisburg Airport, Forgotten Memories. Do you get a 1099K from Whatnot if you meet the threshold? So Whatnot is required. I got something in my eye. If Whatnot is required to send you a 1099 if you have $20,000 in sales and 200 transactions on the app, then Whatnot is required to send you the 1099. Yes, my love. What
All
did you
right,
want me
we're
to do?
going to illustrate this. So, whoops.
I don't know what he's doing.
So, there you go. My grandmother gave me those two shakers. Okay? And I just gave it to Tracy. I want $30 for them. She's going to run them right now.
All right, I guess I'm running these. Let me tell you about these salt and pepper shakers that supposed grandma gave to him. They're gorgeous. They're porcelain. We got a little bit of staining on this one. The lids come off, so the lids unscrew over here. They are beautiful, though. They're porcelain. They're absolutely gorgeous. They were made in Japan. I do love them. And we're going to run them. So to make his example, I don't know where he's going with this, but we're going to go with it. They are up and running right now for $1, $4.50 shipping.
Grandma Josie. You think I'm bullshit.
Josie, we got some problems if his girlfriend gave them to him.
Did you see?
You want to see a riled up Tracy? Let me see him. Let me see him have a girlfriend. Robin's Closet, thank you so much. That is going to you. Now, my love, what example are you making?
So, how much did I say I wanted? And just give me a second.
You said
Robin?
you wanted $30 for those.
Correct.
Thank you.
So I wanted $30. How much did it go for?
They went for $14.
Correct. So that was consignment, right? And so how is she going to explain to me that now she owes me $16?
Well, we would have a contract ahead of time with an agreed upon price. But that's a perfect example of the middleman that you get into trying to make two people happy. I owe him 14 for grandma's salt and pepper shakers. Yeah, I'd be in trouble now. So, I mean, just, it made me think. When I was listening to Birdie's Boutique, she's wonderful. This is nothing bad against her, but somebody asked a question. She was talking about consignment. Somebody asked a question, and I'm like, what a great topic just to bring up and talk about. That while it does, I love the idea of not a lot of money going out for inventory. I don't like all the other sides of this. This would be one of those situations that I'm like, for me and my business, I'm going to stay away from co-signing. It does not make sense for me. Modern Elegance, thank you so much. That was totally not planned. He was like pulling things out of thin air. I'm like, where are we going with this? Savannah Banana, I just love that name. I did Dollar Starts for the first time last night. Had my first 1K earnings show. Yay, I'm so happy for you. That is amazing. I am so happy about that. You remind me, I was going to talk about Dollar Starts and free shipping. I was going to give you guys some stats about that. Let me get to my page here.
A little celebration for you. And for those of you who don't know, I have another secret. I'm dating a married woman.
God, that's such a dad
She
joke.
likes to call herself my wife.
You're such a dad. Oh my gosh. Okay. Seeing Savannah Banana's comment. I know it's so bad. I roll completely. Lesson learned here. Did consignment. Huge show. Only me doing it all. Think about the person who's giving you the inventory. They're like, this is easy street. I'm going to kick back and do nothing and take 30 or 40%. Right? I will. Absolutely, Josie. I will. Before I want to talk about Dollar Starts and free shipping. I want to give you my numbers because I'm back to doing that on Tuesdays. And I want to use myself as a illustration, be very as transparent as I can, just as an example so you guys can see how that works. Yeah, I know he's going to be starting rumors. Before I do that, you guys, if you are, I think they're looking for Raiders, Shalom or Grammy G, if you're in here, please feel free to throw that in the chat. Shalom and Grammy G do a Surge to 1K raid train. I really do like it. It is a community focused. It isn't about, there they go right there, a race to 1K. It's about truly getting to 1K the right way and coming together to support each other. They do a raid train once a month. And they are looking for some people. I think it was Raiders you're looking for. So they're looking for some 15-minute spots on that. Please reach out to them if you're interested in a raid train, want to be part of a really good, something that does support the community. Both of them were in here, Grammy G, 55502, and Shalom. Please reach out to them. The raid train, put what day it's coming up. It's coming up soon, so feel free to put the date in there too. It is a great raid train. Quite a few of us in the chat today have been on that train. This Tuesday, there you go. There are tons of new shows scheduled. Okay. All right, you guys. Free shipping show. I want to talk about free shipping and dollar starts. So I used to do free shipping dollar starts. I went away from it at the beginning of the year as I was trying to like mix and do different business focuses, bring in jewelry and stuff like that. When the shipping changes were announced coming on August 1st, of course, like everybody else, my husband and I were talking about them. And what he said is, now's the time you need to go back to free shipping. It's like, you need to go back to it. You need to stand strong in what you tell everybody, and telling people that this is a good thing, it's not a bad thing, and low shipping, reduced, free, whatever works. It's that it is a good tool to use. So I didn't want to just jump in and do it across the board. We decided to do it on Tuesdays. So Tuesdays is kind of a newer show. I've only done it for a couple of weeks so far. And it is my I Spy Vintage, completely random polls. We sell about 40 to 50 items. And it's just a fun, hour and a half show on Tuesday mornings. We decided to start yesterday with free shipping. Free shipping, dollar starts. So a lot of what we get is, I can never afford to do that. How can you afford free shipping? And there's a huge misconception. People who are against reduced or free shipping will say they just roll their prices in the shipping into their prices. Go Friday Crafts. Thank you so much for bringing everybody over here.
Welcome in, Raiders! Grab your hats and step into Zoe's Treasures, where the relics aren't cursed. They are for sale.
Girl Friday Crafts is one of our Season 2 CEO participants, and I can tell you all about her, but I'm not going to. She is amazing. She is a handmade seller, plus sell some vintage. But Girl Friday, please throw in the chat who you are, what you do, what you sell, when you sell it, all the details so people can give you a follow if they like what they have to read. And thank you guys for those of you coming over. My name's Tracy. This is Zoe's Treasures. We are doing a chat and sell. We're doing a little more chatting right now, but we'll get to selling in a little bit here. So Modern Grace says, I did my first dollar start and it was great. Did I make as much? No, but I gained over 25 new followers and buyers. You gained future people. You're buying, you're paying it now. It's like advertising to get the benefit in the future. So we did the show. We did the dollar starts. We don't roll our shipping into our prices. That happens by itself. Because I'm doing low starts and low shipping, free shipping in this case, I am removing the barriers to people to buy. Now, the downside of it is a lot of people will buy one thing. That can hurt. It does in free shipping. It can hurt when they buy one thing. So the goal is to encourage more. That's part of the reason I had a hard time with it before. And so it's something I'm monitoring through my Tuesdays to see what can I do? Can I approach it differently than I approached it before? So at the end of the day, my stats, I paid 28% of my profit in shipping, okay? Of all the money I made, 28% was my shipping cost. So that's $28 for every 100 that I made, to put it in a dollar perspective. However, I had a 51% increase in revenue, in total sales. I sold about the same as I did the week before when I did $4.50 shipping. So apples to apples as far as number and quality of items was apples to apples, okay? I had a 50% increase in revenue, not profit, but we'll get to the profit part. 51% increase in revenue, cost me 28% to ship it. At the end of the day, if I'm looking at dollars, I made more money than I spent in shipping. Extra money, over and above from the week before. That 51% represented a higher dollars than what the shipping dollars cost me. So does it work? Absolutely. Now, was that a huge spread? I'm talking I probably made $15 more extra money over than what the shipping is. So was it huge? No. It was also the first time I've gone back to free shipping. Nothing happens in an instant. Things take a little bit of time. So I'm going to continue to kind of update, over the course of the next few weeks so that you guys can get a really good understanding through a practical example of how it works. I don't understand discount shipping. Do you always pay a difference? Does shipping amount depend on what is bought? Yes. So shipping depends on what is bought. You weigh it appropriately. You put it in there. Shipping is based on the weight and the zip code of where it's going to. So under a pound costs a certain amount. 1 to 5 pounds right now before the shipping changes go into effect is $9.21. After 5 pounds, if you're using flat rate, it's $9.21 up to 70 pounds. If you're using ground, the price goes up incrementally, consistent with the increases in weight. So, and yes, if we're doing reduced shipping, if I'm charging right now in this show is $4.50 shipping, anything over that I pay as a seller. But like I was just explaining, the offside, yes, forgotten memories, yes. I'm getting a question on the PA meetup. Every person over 13 attending does need a ticket because really the ticket is helping pay for the food. Part of it's a venue, but it's really helping to offset the food. Okay, I was thinking of doing it once every couple of months, a special show. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you want to do, while I'm a huge proponent of Dollar Start's free or reduced shipping, it's not an all or nothing. You don't have to go and say, I'm going to do every show like this. I'm going to do every item like this. You can pick and choose. Use it as a special thing. Use it as a way to reward people. Use it as like, hey, this show's going really great. You guys, I really love the support you're giving me. Let's run a dollar item. Like it doesn't have to be this, okay, I've got to be all in. I got to do this whole show. You don't have to do it that way. Am I missing questions? You're pointing to the chat like I'm missing something. So Shiny Squirrel says, I did a $2 start, $9.21 max shipping, 58 sales, gave away 16 sunglasses. When all was done, I was in the hole $82. But you gave away stuff. If you took, think about this. If you're offering $2 starts and reduced shipping, are you giving your buyers, are you giving the people in your room something just through that alone? Do you have to do giveaways? If you took those giveaways out, would you still be in the whole $82? Thoughts on shipping profiles. It drives me nuts when Whatnot bundles and unbundles orders automatically, and then I eat the shipping because I do max shipping. Savannah Banana, you're going to get even in worse shape with shipping profiles. I do not recommend shipping profiles as a norm. Whatnot actually has a really, really advanced, good shipping system. I would not set a shipping profile unless I have one specific item that is very huge and heavy and very expensive to ship. That one item will ship alone. Your shipping profiles do not interchange with each other. They don't bundle together. I was thinking of doing it once. We just talked about that. Thank you. What do you apply free shipping? That free shipping to all inventory available to you. Why don't I apply free shipping to all the inventory? Is that what you're asking, Effort Beauty? Is why I'm not doing it across the board? I'm gonna wait for you to clarify if that's the question you're asking. Crystal says, I did a $1 start and sold so much to one person, needed 4 boxes. Can you explain the best process for unbundling? So from the way I do my unbundling, and I don't know if this is the best way. I'm just going to tell you the way I do it. I would suggest for specific, like detailed shipping questions to go and see I Love Discounts every Monday night at 5. They do a shipping show, and they're going to get into the nitty gritty details with you. For unbundling, the way I do it is if I have too much to fit in a box, I'll wrap it all in my bubble wrap. I'll lay everything on a table. I usually use 14 by 12 by 10 boxes. I'll make a couple of boxes and I start playing Tetris. What is going to fit in? What is the least amount of boxes I can use in the safest manner? Can I put 5 in this and 6 in this? Does that cover it? So I play Tetris till I figure out where I'm going to pack. Once I got that figured out, I then go and do the unbundling based on those boxes that I create. That's how I do it. I don't know if that's how everybody else does it or if that's the best way. It seems to work for me with minimal cost, like extra cost for it. Why am I not doing it across the board? I'm just not ready to jump full force into it yet. I'm ready to do it on Tuesdays. The biggest thing for me, keeping me from going full force back into free shipping, is the one purchase. The one-time purchase, especially in vintage decor, hurts me. It really does. Additionally, with the changes that are coming, I like to take major changes, like going back to free shipping, a little bit slower, Let's see what August brings, and then make decisions like that. Analyze my numbers. But the number one reason is the one-time purchases. So if I'm doing it just on one show a week, I can very easily control the items in that show, which helps control the shipping cost. And I can work on various methods to try to overcome the one-time purchase during one show before I expand to other shows. So that's why.
If you have shipping questions, there they are. You can go on Mondays, and if you miss the show, they multicast to YouTube. So you can go and check them out for their past shows where they also answer a couple of questions. So go check them out. They're on YouTube right there on the screen. I love discounts.
So Daisy Lane saying that's realistically 50% of sales. So I'm guessing you're talking about the unbundling and trying to play Tetris with your boxes on a lot of your sales. Crystal, so you're not talking about how I do it in the boxes. For the computer, once I know what goes into the boxes, I have, 20 items on one order because Whatnot bundled it all together. Click on that order. I look at the one box and everything's labeled, so I know what's what, and I just unbundle that way. I say, okay, here's box 1. There's these items, hit unbundle, and then I weigh that box and adjust it. So, don't you have to be aware of the items you're offering? You absolutely have to be aware of the items. And that's why if I'm only doing it for one show right now, I can be very cognizant of not offering really big, large items that I know are only going to fit by themselves. Because if somebody buys that plus 5 other smaller items, instantly I've gone to 2 boxes. So I'd rather do stuff that I know maybe I can fit 3 or 4 items in a standard size box. So with free shipping, yes, absolutely. That's part of my Tuesday mentality is what am I offering? Which kind of lends to the same concept of on Saturdays that allows me when buyers are paying $4.50 or in this show or Monday to offer bigger items because some of that cost is offset for me. Same percentage, free, reduced, standard shipping. So no matter what you've done, you have found that you're paying about the same. And you guys, I love this because it's different perspectives. And Daisy Lane, I know for a fact, is an analytical person. She is one of those people that will do a show, rewatch her show, and then go and analyze the numbers and all the data behind it. So she's saying that when she does free shipping, reduced, and our buyer pays all, she's finding the cost to be about the same for her. And it is going to look different for each one of us. 50% the one items. Okay, there you go. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying. I misunderstood. So people buying one item per show regardless of shipping. See, I find that interesting. My one item purchases skyrocket when I do free shipping. When I did it for 6 months free shipping, I've never been able to get over that one item purchase. I just couldn't get over it. That's part of the challenge now. It's part of what I'm facing on Tuesdays is let's brainstorm this again. All right, my husband's yelling at me about time. So let's go ahead. We're going to switch over now. I'm going to run some random items because this is a sell and chat show. Keep asking questions while I'll try to keep talking, but I'm going to focus on doing a little bit of random items for those of you that are in the mood to do some shopping today. But I will keep bringing the stats to you guys to tell you as much as I can. Because that's how someone has a buyer takes full advantage of free shipping, buy one item and doesn't spend. Yeah, exactly. And I don't think it's them taking advantage. They're buying what I'm offering. I don't look at it bad on the buyer's perspective. I'm going to do this one, and then I've got the coolest little trinket dish that I cannot wait to show you guys. This one is really cool. This is a stone. It is a deep blue stone. I do not know the type of stone that this is. It is a vase. And I just love that deep blue color. The stone is so pretty. It is pretty heavy. We're going to go ahead and run that one right now. 8 inches tall. It's like this blue speckled stone. Has little marks of black in there. It is a gorgeous one. No, the good grabs, unfortunately not. I really wish Whatnot would allow us to do more specific stuff like that because that would solve that problem. Thank you so much for your bids. Swamp Chick, thank you. So Eye for Beauty, that's how the buyers play the game. Free shipping and buy one item. Yeah, actually. I mean, it is. But I guess from a seller perspective, I just don't blame them. Like, I would do the same thing. I mean, I would go in and buy one thing, so I can't blame them. It's my job as a seller to figure out how to change that in my shows, right? All right, hold on. My husband wants me to do the ducks next. You guys, these are the coolest duck trinket boxes. They're kind of like those stacking ducks. You're going to get 5. Let me show you these, guys. You get all 5 of these. They're going to take me forever to get them over here. How fast can I go? Okay, all 5 of these, and check these out. Each one of them are like little trinket boxes. Every single one, and then you can put them inside. I don't know how good they're going to fit. That one doesn't fit very good. But they are all trinket boxes, every single one of them. They're gorgeous, the paint on them. I don't know if you can show from the top, but the colors are like popping. We're going to run this. And they're wooden, so they're all wood ducks. You're going to get all 5. Here's the base to this guy. Let's see if I can get them back together with one hand quickly. They are gorgeous, yes. He's yelling at me. You should see him over here throwing a fit. Move the item, move the item. I've been sitting on these for a while, and I don't know why I've been sitting on them. They've been sitting on my shelf, and like every week I'm like, did I get a raid? Blue Ocean GG, thank you so much for the raid.
Welcome in, Raiders. Grab your hats and step into Zoe's Treasures, where the relics aren't cursed. They are for sale.
Swamp Chick Boutique, thank you for your purchase. We had a lot going on at the same time. These beauties are coming to you. I actually just stick it on the bottom there. Blue Ocean, thank you for bringing your friends over. My name's Tracy. We are doing a sell and chat and sell. We're doing a little more selling right now than we are chatting. Thank you for coming on over. Please put in the chat who you are, what you sell, what you do, when you're on, and all that good stuff so people can follow you and come watch your shows. All right, let's move on to our next one. What's Liz saying? I know. He's just like boom, boom, boom. Okay, you guys, hold on. I only have 2 hands. It's going to take me a second. Let me move these over here. How about a 4-leaf clover? Does anybody need some good luck? This is brass. Check this out. It is it is 4-leaf. I had to count. I had to make sure there was 4 leaves. It is a 4-leaf clover. It is brass. And on the back it says, 1 leaf is for hope, 1 leaf is for faith, 1 is for love, and God put something in for luck. And 1 for luck. Something like that. I can't read it. My eyesight's like shot. There's a cute little poem on the back. It's adorable. It's probably about 4 inches tall. Running right now. Brass 4-leaf clover. There you go. Thank you so much for your bids. And wow, I'm like, I had stuff popping on my screen. I'm like, what's going on? Don Terry, thank you so much. This beauty is heading to you. It like has some weight, y'all. This is heavy. All right, let's do a picture frame. And then I've got a really cool wind chime. Does anybody like wind chimes? I want to do this vintage picture frame first. I do not know if this is brass. I think it is. Let's see if anything sticks to it. All right, so there's no magnet sticking to the metal part here. We're going to go with brass. This is like a blue or black stone. And then the back is velvet, and it slides like this to put your picture in. You could hang it if you wanted with the little hanger on top. It stands about 4.5 inches, and that's running right now. So Blue Ocean Gigi, thank you so much for coming in. You sell jewelry most mornings at 8 a.m., but you're doing some children's books tomorrow. And Butter Pats, y'all, there's the elusive Butter Pats. This is such a pretty frame. Thank you for pointing that out. I think it's beautiful also. Thrifting Lux Goodies, thank you so much. That one's heading to you. All right, we're going to do a wind chime next. And I hate bells, but wind chimes are okay. I can deal with wind chimes. I really like this one, though. Look at this one. It is ceramic We have some beads up here at the top. We're going to show you on this one. I'm going to put it down because I don't know how loud that is coming on the microphone. Do you want to switch? Because I'm like shaking over here trying to hold it. Side camera, please. All right. So this is ceramic, and it looks like a bell. And you've got these 3 little wooden balls up there. And then your chimes on the inside are the little ceramic chimes. So it is really pretty. I love the way this one sounds. It has a really sweet sound to it. And it is running right now. It stands with the beads about 6 inches tall. This is a really pretty one. I love the colors of this. Hang it out on your patio or on a porch somewhere. I'm trying to make it not be super loud in the microphone. Going really, really slow. Thrifting Lux Goodies, congratulations. Thank you so much. We got a few more things here. We'll keep hanging out. We'll keep talking. I know the tink tink, I'm like trying to I just don't know how it's picking up for you guys, with my microphone. So I'm trying to be super cautious of that. Because I'm not one, I hate bells. I cringe. When a bell rings, I'm like, so every time I'm showing a bell, I think I have one actually. Every time I show a bell, I'm like, okay, I had these before. And I think Southern Charm bought some of these from me before. This is the salt and pepper shaker. I think they're adorable. They're supposed to be shells. If you look at them, they look like shells. And the back here, I think it looks like a turkey butt. I don't know what it's supposed to be. I think it's shells, but I want to say it looks like a turkey butt. You've got your salt and pepper. They're both in great shape. They're glass, running right now. It could be shells. It could be a turkey butt. It could be whatever you want it to be. Turkey butt. Yeah, so think about your table at Thanksgiving. I think it would fit perfect in that whole vibe going on of Thanksgiving. Button book behind you is intriguing. Well, we will pull that one up next. Don Terry, thank you so much. We are using, I'll let my husband answer while I pull out the button book. 2 turkeys share a button. That's it, 2 turkeys. Do you want to answer about the cameras?
Hey, Roasted Raven. We have about 7 cameras. So we switch cameras with a video switcher. We used to run with OBS, but since I work on multimedia for a long time, I started using the equipment that I had for my old job in the show. So that's how we switch cameras. If you have any questions, I'll put it in the box.
All right, we're going to do 3 more items, and then we got to go because I do have to, I got to do that full-time job thing today. But we have a book of buttons. If you wouldn't mind showing from the top, honey. This is probably a newer book. I actually picked this up from the International Man of Mystery, and I thought, oh, this is a cool one. So people collect buttons, and so it goes through all different types of buttons. It talks about them. It shows you pictures. So it's like a button identification book. I thought it was pretty neat. Probably newer. I wouldn't say it's super old. We're going to run it for $1. By Joyce Whitmore. It's in wonderful shape.
Thank you, Miss Mary.
Thank you for your bids. Thrifting Lux Goodies. Congratulations.
Thank you, 61.
Thank you.
Okay, so this next item is the one that I was super, super excited about to bring today because it's probably my favorite item of the day. You again. Yes, you again. Thank you. This is probably my favorite item. This is a little trinket dish. And so I want to show you like this. So this is a trinket dish, but you've got the 3D bird on there, which I just love. I love anything with birds on it. And it has a unique shape. And on the back, you have that really pretty green paint. It says Kesser, 1963-64. So I don't know if somebody just hand painted it or if somebody made it. It is so sweet. I know. I fell in love with it when I saw it. It is running right now. I'm guessing probably about 4 inches or so. Yeah, it's about 4 inches. It's adorable. Turn it this, there you go, almost saw it. PT Grace, thank you so much. That one's heading to you. It's a cutie pie.
you.
And then we're going to do our last item for today. We will be back on Friday, you guys. Friday, we have a cool topic. We are talking, it's our business show in the morning. So we're going to do this bowl really quick. But Friday, let me tell you what we're talking about, because we've got a good topic on Friday. It is, I wrote it down so I can talk to you guys. Protecting your energy and your brand. That's what we're going to talk about Friday, which I think is super important. All right, look at how gorgeous this is. Which way? He's giving me directions, but take me out of the bubble. You're blocking my item, mister. This is a carnival glass. Look at that pattern, though. Look at absolutely how stunning that is. It is so beautiful, and you can feel the gorgeous texture. We have the sawtooth top. This is the bottom of it, so it's nice and smooth on the bottom. I do not know who makes this one. I do not need to know because it is just so gorgeous. I can appreciate the beauty for what it is. And it is 8 inches in diameter, and that is running right now. Marigold carnival glass. Look at the rainbow of colors. Well, as he switches it, the rainbow of colors on the inside of that. There you go. Look at that. You can see it all in there. Absolutely so pretty. Forgotten memories. Me too. I'm more of a pottery person, but I could definitely appreciate some carnival glass. PT Grace, congratulations. That one's heading to you. And with that, you guys, we are going to go find somebody to raid. Hopefully my husband has already taken a look and knows who we're going to raid. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you guys just being in the chat, talking, hanging out with me, spending a couple hours of your Wednesday morning with me. I hope you come back on Friday for our business talk. And of course, it's like seller support, so we'll answer questions there too if I can. And with that, have a great day and a really good rest of your week. Who are we rating, mister? Let's see here. Are you doing it or am I doing it?
I'm going to give you a really chill vibe and really awesome scenery. So stick around. I really like this seller, and she's doing her morning show. I hope you enjoy it. Here we go.
I'm guessing TLC Mama Bear with that description. Yep, that's who we're going to. TLC Mama Bear.